Welcome, everyone, and you're listening to episode 15 of the Columbus Comics Corner podcast. Episode 15. We're at moving along just nicely. What's up, everyone? This is the Columbus Comics Corner podcast. As always, my name is Ryan, and with me is Alan. How you doing?
Doing good.
Good. We are here to talk some comics. Got a pretty good amount of movie news that came out over the past few days, and a big piece just before we started to record. And then we're going to get into the comics. But before all that, as always, you can find all of our podcast episodes on our Podbean under Columbus Comics Corner, .podbean.com as well. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can at Comics Corner Pod. And if you ever want to email us, you can do so at columbuscomicscorner@gmail.com. We'll read anything that you want to be read on the air, and we'll read it, the following episode. And we also are on iTunes, so please subscribe, rate, and review us on there, and we'll read your reviews, any reviews that you leave us on iTunes as well, good or bad, and we'll see how long it lasts, though. But before all that, we are a spoilers podcast, so once we get to the comic books, if you have not read the comics that are in the show notes, definitely go read them first, or if you just want to hear us talk about it, before you go out and read them, stick around. And again, thank you for listening to us. But before that, we have some entertainment news. And what's up with all that, Alan?
Well, the first bit of news that we got was we just had the word that Sterling K. Brown has been added to the cast of the Marvel's Black Panther movie that's going to come up pretty soon. He's probably best known for The People vs. O.J. Simpson, an American crime story actor. He's going to play Jobu, which is going to be a character actually from Black Panther's past.
Mm-hmm.
Never really got deep into the Black Panther comics. I kind of need to go back and brush up, especially before the movie comes out. So I'm kind of interested to see, is he going to be like a childhood friend? Is he going to be an old foe? Is he going to be a rival from maybe another kingdom or something?
Yeah, I believe he's a whole new character all around. I couldn't find anything on him, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that's cool though. I didn't watch People vs. OJ. I wasn't really keen on seeing another OJ Simpson take, but I heard it. It got a lot of good reviews and some good ratings, I guess. So hopefully, I'm excited for this movie nonetheless, and I'd rather it be coming out this year than next year. But hey,
yeah, yeah. That's the thing about this Black Panther news. Every time it comes out, I get excited about a new actor being added, but then it just reminds me
it's so far away.
We still gotta wait before we get it. And I want it now. I wanted it after Civil War.
Yeah.
I wanted Spider-Man and I wanted Black Panther.
That would have been perfect. Yeah, because they have Spider-Man coming out. Why not throw Black Panther either before or after? Don't get me wrong. I'm super ecstatic for Ragnarok. I still haven't seen fucking Doctor Strange yet. I'm slacking, but I am seeing Rogue One tomorrow.
About time.
Yeah.
Well, I too am excited for Ragnarok. Obviously, I've seen Doctor Strange quite a few times by now, and this excites me. I'm a little bit more excited for Ragnarok. I know we didn't put it in here, but
Same.
I know there was just some news released about Ragnarok, giving us a little bit more of a glimpse at what the story is going to be.
Okay.
And that kind of has me interested, especially with the. I'm sorry, say that again.
I said I probably would have gone into it blind. Personally.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's if you've read the comics and if you know anything about Norse mythology, you know what Ragnarok is. So that does have to do with the movie. It's essentially the end of the of Asgard. It's their Armageddon.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Thor and Hulk, from what I read, are actually going to be on a planet on the other side of the galaxy competing in gladiatory games, and it sounds like they're actually going to have to be fighting each other in these games. So they're kind of giving us a little bit of World War Hawk in there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
Yeah, we've already kind of guessed that's what they were going to do, but this kind of confirmed it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because they also, I guess Doctor Strange is probably going to appear as well, I think. And that's kind of, if you think about it, with Valkyrie, Hulk, and Doctor Strange, that's like old school Defenders right there. And
I know.
I'm super excited to see Valkyrie, and Tessa Thompson's a great actress, and everything she's been in so far has been wonderful. So, big fan of hers.
Well, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Hela. I'm excited for the Grandmaster.
Grandmaster, yeah, the Collector.
I want to see if they're going to go the full route and, explain his connection to the Collector.
Yeah, if anything, it'll probably be hinted at, I bet.
It probably will, and us who know will get the hint.
Mm-hmm.
And we're being the movie theater like, yeah, I get that. That's awesome they did that.
That's for the nerds. The sweaties.
But if we're going to move a little bit from Marvel fanboying for a minute, and let's get some DC fanboying going on.
Yeah.
The next piece of news that actually came out a few hours ago was the first released photo from the Justice League movie, which is awesome because I think this is the actual first photo where we see the basically the team assembled together.
Yeah, coming out of a ship almost, maybe.
Yeah.
Or some kind of docking bay.
Yeah, it looks like a ship may have landed, and it's opening up, and boom, it's the Justice League. Minus a couple people, obviously, because we're not quite sure if we may get the Green Lantern surprise or not. And, of course,
I doubt we will.
Spoilers, anyone who hasn't seen Batman versus Superman, the big red ass is not there for obvious reasons.
Yeah. He'll be back, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm willing to bet he'll be back probably midway through this movie.
Yeah, I would think, midway before the final act.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they're going to kind of do it like the comics, because that's how it was in the comics. In the comics, when he came back almost all the way at the end of the story.
Hopefully they get
out of nowhere,
suit.
And they just went into action as soon as he came back.
I hope Jeff Johns or someone stepped in and they were like, Snyder, just make sure you put the black suit, Superman's black suit.
Yeah, I want the black suit. I feel like I saw a teaser from Henry Cavill kind of teasing that black suit. Like it was some kind of teaser photo. I feel like I saw somewhere.
Yeah, he put something on his Instagram of it. Who knows, though? We'll have to see. Because it wasn't really black. It was more of a gray.
Yeah.
So, who knows? He could have just threw a filter on there or something.
Well, I mean, once I started making this argument when the Amazing Spider-Man first came out, because they first showed like the set photos and there was all the issues with the outfit and everything. But with a movie, or even when I hate to even argue a positive thing for this movie, but even when it came to X-Men Apocalypse, the first photos we saw of Apocalypse, he was like purple or pink.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to a movie, they film in a certain, they might have it be a certain color just to pick it up on camera, but once they get done with post-production, they change the lighting and add the extra effects and everything, it'll be a different color. So it could have been gray just so the camera could pick it up, and then for whatever reason in post they'll be able to go and make it a deeper black than maybe what they can actually get. Which I would love. That's one of my favorite Superman suits, was the black suit.
Same. Yeah, let's just get into some of these. I'll go ahead.
I was just going to say I was kind of mad it didn't stick around a little bit longer.
Yeah, it didn't last long. But yeah, I just want to get into some of these suits. So we have Batman, and he's straight out of Arkham. And Wonder Woman looks great. But yeah, I guess let's focus on Batman for a second. He's straight out of Arkham, armor suit. His tech is heavy, so it makes me think, they're going up against something big. And Wonder Woman looks great. Cyborg, I don't know about him right now. It looks maybe too CG in this picture, at least. You know, maybe they're still working on it, but I'm not sure how I feel about Cyborg. And it's kind of dark, so it's really hard to see like the detail. But it looks just too CGI to me.
From the trailers, he looked a little bit better than I thought he was going to look. Because Cyborg is one of those characters like they're obviously going to CG it. I wasn't sure, you know, what kind of look they were going to go for. Now, it was at least in the trailer, it's a little bit. It's better than what I was expecting.
Yeah, that was still.
If I saw just this photo though, like just if this picture would have been the only thing I would have saw, I'd be saying the exact same thing. Like I'm not too sure about Cyborg there.
Yeah, well, that's what makes me say that is because when they released that little teaser, I wouldn't even call it a trailer really, because a lot of that was what they were just kind of shooting and what they had at the time. So if this is like what they're finally releasing, you know, after that, they've had plenty of time to work on it. Sure. Maybe they're still tweaking it. Who knows? Because
I don't know. Maybe because you were saying Batman's suit looks different.
Yeah,
it does look Arkham. This one is more armory. And then the little teaser he had a different suit on than this. It was different than this.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm looking at Flash. Even Flash's suit looks different than the one that's in the teaser.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Still not feeling that Flash one.
So maybe this is going to be something towards the end of the movie where some of them feel they need to, you know, they're about, like you said, they're about to battle something serious, so they need to upgrade their suits. So maybe suits. Batman is upgraded, Flash is upgraded. Cyborg could possibly be upgraded. That could possibly be an upgrade from what we saw in the trailer.
It could be. Yeah, Flash is.
And obviously, Aquaman's over there, the most mysterious one.
Yeah, he is.
How's Aquaman in more shadow than Batman? Like, that doesn't seem right.
That does not seem right at all. But yeah, I mean, hopefully we should be getting a trailer, the official first trailer. I'd imagine maybe in a month or so. Maybe with the Super Bowl coming out, maybe we'll see something then.
That sounds about right. I think that they're probably waiting until, because they're going to want some big stage to drop that on.
Oh yeah, that's the only event I can really think of right now that would be major. Because when does this movie come out? October? November?
I actually do not know.
I know it's later in the year because Wonder Woman's June. So I think,
and I doubt that. Yeah, it's gonna be later in the year because if Wonder Woman is June, they're not gonna do July. They're gonna.
Nah, yeah.
I think they're gonna pick a month where there's nothing super huge coming out.
I would imagine probably either October or November because they want to stay away from Star Wars December.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was one of the things that Assassin's Creed should have done. They should have waited more than a week before they released that. Like, don't wait the week after Star Wars. Stay away from Star Wars.
Yeah. My girl went and finally she went out with some friends and saw that movie, and she doesn't know much about Assassin's Creed, but she was like, I couldn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, I just saw it. I want to say last weekend. You definitely. I wouldn't suggest going into that movie unless you've played at least one of the games. Especially, I would more suggest playing the first game. Like, they mixed a bunch of stuff from a bunch of the games in there. But if you just go in there and you have no idea whatsoever what it is, the plot and the story and everything is going to super confuse you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those movies.
And the trailers don't do justice for actually explaining them. Those trailers for Assassin's Creed are really for the people who will play the game.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the movies I'll probably wait for HBO Go or something like that.
I mean, yeah, you can. It was decent. I played the games, so
yeah, I played the first one, but that was like obviously a long time ago now. How many do you have now? Like
the main
4
one
or
you
5?
need to play and understand. So if you've done that, you know, you can go into the movie and enjoy it for what it is.
Word. Cool. Well, yeah, we can move on from there if you want. All right, unless there's anything else you have for.
Yeah, this is something that we've actually never done on the show.
No.
The next bit of news we have was a leaked picture of Hasbro's Sue Storm with Herbie, which is part of the Marvel Legends action figure set that was actually released this week. We've actually never, I don't think, even remotely covered action figures on the show or collectibles.
I saw this. One of the reasons I put it in there was just for, obviously, they weren't making X-Men and Fantastic Four action figures forever because of their beef. And the main reason I put it in there is obviously that's, showing signs of they're not getting rid of it. But also, we've been reading a few comics that have Fantastic Four sprinkled in them.
I even have a honorable mention that'll come up later on the show that fits into that category where it has a little bit of Fantastic Four kind of in there a little bit.
Yeah, like a hint or so. But yeah, I think that's cool. Just because I want to see a Fantastic Four book drop soon. So I think this is kind of just helping solidify that, at some point Fantastic Four is going to be back. And I think Ultimates too. We covered the first issue, but I think that will play into it as well. I've been reading, because I read the second issue last week, and it had some more hints of Reed Richards in there. So, they've been putting little hints there. I know. I just went back. I can't remember what issue it was I read. But I found out that was something I didn't know, that Spider-Man actually bought the Baxter Building, and that nobody else could actually buy it, and he's holding it until the Fantastic Four returns. I didn't know that. Yeah, I remember. I heard about that in passing, or like real quick on something. Yeah, that's really cool. And then one of the comics we talk about later has a reference in there too.
Yeah, there is an issue that we have on the show that has a Fantastic Four reference in there. So, they're still there. They're going to be back eventually.
Yeah. But
it just makes you wonder, is this like Marvel's kind of lightweight way of hinting that they're going to come back a lot sooner than we think?
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't say, personally, I wouldn't say sooner than we think. I think hopefully they take their time to build a amazing writing team for it to come back.
Yeah,
like something superb, like say Hickman comes back, you know what I mean, or anyone else, like maybe a Tom King. I would actually love to see a Tom King Fantastic Four. I think he would be a real good suit for that. But yeah, hopefully they don't rush it, and we just get a solid art team and creative team on it for it to be amazing for them, for their big comeback.
Yeah, I don't want them to rush it. I do want them to come back at the right time. But we've always said that the reason that they're not there is for outside reasons, not because of comic book reasons per se. They didn't just all of a sudden decide like, hey, people don't like the Fantastic Four in the comic books, let's get rid of them.
Yeah, I know they weren't selling the last run before it got canned. I know it wasn't selling well.
I don't really think it was that.
Yeah.
Like, I honestly think similar to what was going on with the X-Men for a while and everything is the fact that, Marvel Films does not own the rights to Fantastic Four. So in their eyes, why are we essentially putting out something that's going to help sell tickets possibly, or, make it seem like this is a property worth who's it, Fox that has Fantastic Four?
Yeah, Fox. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why are we going to put out something that's going to make it seem like a worthwhile property for them? Because that's almost like free advertisement.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder what kind of deal they have for Deadpool, if he's 100% Fox owned in obviously the movies, or if there's like a stipulation that they have a certain amount, like Marvel has a percentage or something, because they pump Deadpool books out like crazy.
Yeah, when I saw that's the first thing that went through my mind, though, was like they haven't been doing anything to Fantastic Four, and it's Sue Storm. I mean,
that's major.
Yeah, And then I thought it was funny to see Herbie.
Yeah, that was nice.
So I remember watching reruns of the Fantastic Four cartoon with Herbie.
I need to go back and watch some of this. It's been
I think that was
ages.
the Hanna-Barbera one.
Okay. Yeah, it's been ages. But yeah, I thought I'd throw that in there because we love the Fantastic Four and want to see them come back. So
yeah, that was a fun little bit of news to look at the show notes and see that was that kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit, and I looked at it and was like, you know what? I'm glad he put that in there.
Yeah, it's usually like when I'm doing the show or the show notes and at least the entertainment news, kind of just want to throw things out there or throw things in there. I think that we touch on the most and type of deal, or just important stuff really as well.
Well, it was fun to see it for the fact that it was Sue Storm. It was fun to see it for the fact that it was Fantastic Four related, and it was fun to see it because this culture that we're in. And yes, anybody listening, I am saying culture that we are in. There's a lot more to it than just comics. Like, I mean, we enjoy comics, we enjoy cartoons. A lot of us collect action figures and collectibles and everything. So it's fun every now and again to actually see a bit of news that kind of touches on some of the different aspects of the culture.
Exactly. Good point. Sweet, cool. We can get into the comic book news if you don't have anything else for that.
Nope.
All right. So, literally, after we finished recording last week, Jeff Johns tweeted out a Happy New Year post, and it was kind of him announcing that he would be returning back to DC Comics, not DC Comics necessarily, but he would be returning to write another comic for DC. And it was Watchmen related because he had a picture of Dr. Manhattan. So we had just literally talked about it before while we were recording, and then that happened. So I thought that was interesting, kind of solidifying that yes, the Watchmen are in this universe, and it makes me think he'll probably more than likely just be writing the next DC Rebirth special, maybe to kick off the summer event. But yeah.
So do you think that's how they're going to do it? Do you think that there's going to be a Rebirth special number 2?
I think so. Yeah.
You think that's where everything's going to kind of start tying together more?
Yeah, I think that maybe that will be the launch to the big summer event. Like maybe Jeff Johns will kick it off, and then we'll get some writing teams announced. Just I kind
of like that idea to have a follow up to that special, like you just said, to start the launch, start kind of tying some of these things together that are kind of, I don't want to say all over the place, but we're getting little crumbs here and there, bits and pieces here.
Especially this last week, there were a lot of crumbs everywhere. I don't know. Did you read Titans?
Did I read Titans?
Yeah.
No, I didn't read Titans.
Okay. Word. There was a mention in there as well, and something else too. A few other things that I read. But yeah, I thought that was cool. So kind of he was just announcing that he would be doing that. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm glad they're not rushing the whole Watchmen thing and just telling the stories for the moment before getting into the new event. But at the same time, kind of sprinkling little hints in there.
I kind of think they may have learned from Convergence not to rush these events that are supposed to have massive effects on the universe.
Yeah, not blow their load super fast.
Yeah.
Kind of stretch it out. Sweet. But yeah, that was just a little thing. And then this, I think you should announce this, or not announce it, but go ahead and mention this. So this was, I thought, mainly for you when I put this in there.
You talking about the Marvel news next?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I mean, I can do that. That's no problem. 'Cause I was looking at that too and was like, I got some theories on this.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Marvel has announced that they're going to end their current free digital codes for their print titles. Anybody who knows, when you pick up a Marvel book, it has a sticker on it that says free digital title, and there's normally a code inside the book to get it. And what they're going to actually do is they're going to give 2 free classic comics instead.
Yeah, I think I might have misprinted that, but yeah, I think it's classic and other ongoing titles as well.
So are these going to be digital?
Yeah, digital.
Okay, because this is my theory on this, and I've said this since the great debate started on whether print was going to be dead and digitals were going to take over. Digitals are nice. It's nice to have a digital issue every now and again. That's fun and dandy. But I think so many people who are into comics, even people who are starting to get into comics, they start finding that nothing replaces the physical comic in your hand and the page is turning. And I think that they may have thought this was going to be the future and quickly are realizing, like, no, it's not, and it's kind of a waste in a way. Does that make any sense?
In a way, yeah. Me personally, I don't. When I get my Marvel books, I personally don't use the digital code, unless maybe if I read them on my tablet for the show. But a lot of the time, I have the physical copy. But I've never been a digital code guy. I always thought it was nice that they did that.
Yeah.
It's just like, buying music. You buy the vinyl or the your cassette tape or whatever, and it comes with a digital download code, just for the courtesy of having it digitally as well. And so yeah, it's interesting to see that they're giving way to other ongoing or older titles instead. I don't see the logic in it personally, why they're doing it. But maybe, like you said, they see that digital's not going to take over, and people still want the physical copies. So
yeah, people are still going to buy physical prints. A lot of people, me included, prefer the physical prints. I've never actually used the digital codes in any of my Marvel comics, and I have a ton sitting around here. So that means I have a ton of digital codes I've never used to get the digital book.
And they expire after 6 months.
It's the same way you were saying with music, but with movies, they do it with DVDs too, where you get the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray have a digital code in there to get the movie digitally, and I've never used those either. Digital is nice. It's a nice alternative. There probably are some people who prefer, the digital over the physical, but I think that there's not enough of them to justify this kind of focus on making so much of the Marvel digital library, the Marvel library digital.
Which is also nice to hear, because I'm more of a fan of physical, so it's good to see that people are still going to. It kind of shows that people are still going to their shops to support them, which is good, because we need, obviously we need to keep the comic book shops open and running.
Yeah, that's one of the prime reasons. Like, there's nothing that beats it. It might be convenient to download it, but for comics and for this genre and for this what's the word I want to use?
Niche, or
I mean, at this point, it's not even really that much of a niche. But yeah, if you want to use niche, you can use niche. There's nothing that's going to beat being able to go into a comic book shop and meet other comic book fans and talk with people, and there's nothing that's going to beat that. I was just in the comic shop yesterday, and there was a guy in there who was looking for some books, and he had brought his little brother with him, and he was showing him around the comic shop and was explaining characters to him, essentially introducing him to the comic book world.
Nice.
And that's one of the things that is positive, and you're not going to be able to replicate by digital, because digital, you're just going to get that one issue, and you might be able to look around a little bit, but it's not going to be like, oh yeah, and this is over here, and then this is over here, and then this is this character, and that reminds me, this book over here. Like, it's not going to be able to top that.
Yeah, that's funny. You just reminded me. I actually, when I went to get my books Friday, the clerk I was working was sick, and she had a snuffy nose, and she was touching my comics, and she didn't have any hand sanitizer near her. So when I got home, I sanitized my books. So it's I'm not getting sick. I'm trying to avoid that.
For some people, that's probably where digital would benefit them better. Is well, I don't want to risk the chance of getting sick.
Yeah, that was a one-time thing though. That was the first time that I actually like saw that. I hate getting sick, so I was like, I try to avoid all cautions.
But it's even like going to a Comic-Con. Like, there's nothing that beats that feeling of being around people who are into the exact same thing you are, and that you can actually sit down and have those weird discussions with, and they get exactly where you're coming from. You know, and then also you might learn something. Like, you might not know about a character or about a book, and if you go into a shop or you have that physical contact with other people, you know, they're like, well, you might like this book also.
Yeah, all the
or it might be able to
recommendations.
give you a history lesson on a character, and you'd be like, oh, I never knew that. So I think that's one of the drawbacks from digital. Like, is that interaction. I think comics benefit from the fact that there's so many of us, and when we do get the chance to connect and get together, we have this, like this show right here. This show is a prime example. I'm a comic fan, you're a comic fan. We do this show, and we interact, and we talk about books. You've educated me on books and writers and everything, and I've brought you books and storylines, and so that's where digital, the disconnect doesn't help digital.
No. But yeah, we'll see how that plays out for them.
Yeah,
It'll either backfire on them, and then they'll revert, back to their ways, or
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're looking at the numbers like, it's kind of hard for this to backfire based off the numbers. This has to be because of numbers.
Yeah.
This is a number decision.
And it's crazy too, because I hear a lot of people that actually like do digital over print. So it's nice knowing that the physical copy buyers are actually outweighing the digital right now, even though it seems like a lot of people are using the convenience of doing digital.
And this probably isn't going to end the digital books.
No.
This is just going to end the fact that the codes are in the physical books.
Yeah, and also,
so maybe it's a printing thing. Maybe based off of printing costs and everything, they're not bringing in enough people from the physical copies getting digital copies to make sense to keep it this way.
Keep it that way, yeah, makes sense.
So maybe they're going to keep doing digital copies of new books, but it's just you're not going to get them in the physical books.
Yeah, they definitely will for the digital. Just because there's people that live in some places where they don't have a comic shop within like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So they have
Which
to drive,
is another area where digital has a benefit.
Yep.
If you live in a state or a town that doesn't have a comic shop and your only access is digital, then like by all means, get your subscription and go ahead and read your digital copies.
Yep. I've been hearing a lot about DCBS. They do DC Backstock. I think they do other books too, but usually you don't get them the day of New Comic Book Day. It's usually like, I think Friday or maybe Monday, the following Comic Book Day release. But I just like going to my shop and getting them right there. Because I guess they discounts are like
that's
crazy.
The other thing about physical. Like, I love being able to go right there if I want to the day it comes out and pick it up.
Yeah, and my comic shop's literally like 5 minutes away.
I was actually just at your comic shop.
Were you? Nice.
Friday. I had to go there to pick up one of my books.
Okay. Yeah, I went Friday too. I went early though, probably around like 11 or so.
Yeah, I wasn't there that early.
Word. Cool. Yeah, we'll see how that plays out for him though. But next is also from Marvel. So Nick Fury is returning for his first solo ongoing series. And this is from Newsarama. So Nick Fury was a staple of classic Marvel comics, and now that the role is being assumed by his son, the young Nick Fury, in his first ongoing series. Debuting this April, Nick Fury, by writer James Robinson and artist ACO, brings back the psychedelic sensibility of his father's solo adventures to the 21st century. And it also states, joining Journey is Frankie Noble, his counterpart in Hydra. The pair will embark on a cat and mouse adventures that take place over short arcs, channeling the style and energy of the elder Fury's memorable adventures. Newsarama spoke with James Robinson about Nick Fury, And it was announced that we'd find out more about the adventures in the coming soon in the Espionage Star. So that'd be cool. I saw a couple preview pictures for it. I didn't read the text or anything, but the art was pretty psychedelic and kind of had that 70s vibe to it. So I'm excited to see how this where this goes.
So, okay, I have a question about this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is essentially Nick Fury Jr., correct?
Yes.
Now, which one? Because I know they made the leap in the main continuity to say that the Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury is Nick Fury Jr. essentially. Is this that Nick Fury, or is this a totally different Nick Fury?
It's that Nick Fury.
Okay, that's what I was thinking when I saw this. Okay.
So that'll be interesting. See how that goes. It's a number one, so you got to be. Me personally, I always got to be cautious with these. And one of my honorable mentions I'll talk about later, but yeah, are you gonna be picking this up?
Yeah, I think I will at least pick up the first issue or two to see how it is. You've already got a preview of it, so I mean, I'm not even gonna know what the artwork looks like. But if you're saying the artwork looks pretty good, I'm gonna take your word for that.
Yeah, I just think 70s TV shows, psychedelic, 007 type stuff.
I know that's what the original Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. was like. I've seen some of the panels and stuff from there, and it was psychedelic and definitely 70s vibe coming off of it.
Yeah, and I like James Robinson. He's been writing Scarlet Witch, and there was something else he was writing as well that I read. Excuse me, that I read recently. Can't remember what else it was though. But I know he's on Starman that I need to go back and read from JSA. I heard a lot of good things about that, so
yeah, I'm definitely gonna check this out.
Yeah, same. And then this last piece I just saw before we got on, Fred Valenti from Generation Zero. He's going to be writing Deadpool versus the Punisher with artist Peri Perez, also from Generation Zero. So yeah, Deadpool's everywhere.
That's funny because I was looking at those names like, why they sound so familiar, and I know now.
Yeah. So
I know you were excited for this.
I was I'm interested. Just because it has the Punisher in it. I'm not a huge Deadpool comic reader fan.
Okay.
But I'm interested to see where this goes because this will be more of the violent type, and it's been a while since I've read a Punisher book. So, and the creative team I've enjoyed so far with Generation Zero and their other Valiant stuff. So it's cool to see that they're hopping over to Marvel real quick, and we'll see what they do with it.
Yeah, I think this could be interesting based off of the team. I'm not the biggest Deadpool fan. I did love the movie.
Yeah, I love the movie.
I do like the Punisher. We haven't seen the Punisher really do anything in a while, and I do think it'd be interesting to see these two extremely violent characters going against each other.
Yeah, I agree. I actually watched Deadpool for the second time, probably like last week, I think. And I think I actually like it more than Civil War.
Wow. I don't know if I would give it that, but
I think
it is great.
Just different.
I would put it in one of my favorite superhero movies, but I'm not sure if I would say it was better than Civil War.
Because I watched Civil War that night or the following night, and don't get me wrong, I love Civil War, but Deadpool is just so different and such a different take on a superhero movie. I think that's just what really won me over. And
yeah, I can definitely give it that. It's a different take on a superhero movie.
And that's like the best version of X-Men that we've got ever.
Oh yeah.
And we only got 2 of them.
I don't know if I would even really compare the two because I mean, Civil War's got a little bit more of a serious tone to it.
Oh, it does. Yeah, Deadpool's just fun.
Deadpool's just
action.
Fun.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll rewatch them again, but I think I just really enjoyed Deadpool because I'd been holding off on watching it again for a while. Because I only saw it in theaters once, I think. No, maybe I saw it twice. Yeah, I saw it twice in theaters. So I've seen it 3 times total now, and I've only seen Civil War 2 times.
I have seen both movies multiple times.
Yeah, you're the
multiple times.
I do want to get the Blu-ray of the Deadpool though, and Civil War, honestly, and see if there's any commentary stuff on there.
Yeah, I think I definitely need to pick up the Deadpool Blu-ray. I normally hold off. Well, I'm probably gonna hold off on the Marvel one because I'm a box set guy, so I would prefer to get Civil War
with the whole collection
and whatever the Phase 3 box set is.
Yeah, that's crazy to think.
Which I'm hoping
3.
is going to be the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, I would hope so. It's crazy.
It needs to either be the Infinity Gauntlet or it needs to be the Eye of Agamotto. One of those two needs to be the box set for Phase 3.
Maybe they'll have like maybe they'll take all your money and make two variants.
Maybe they can just hire me on because I tell you, man, I'll be having some ideas for some box sets.
Just email columbuscomicsquote@gmail and we will set you up.
I keep telling them email. I give you guys some exclusive classic stuff that will sell.
They're listening to us. At least some of the writers are.
Say that again?
I said they're listening to us. At least some of the writers are.
Oh yeah. Some of you guys here, tell your bosses that you heard these guys out of Columbus, and they really should be in the industry in some kind of way.
Fly us out somewhere. Just hire us and move us to California.
Yeah,
cool.
I'm willing to co-write something with somebody. I can give you guys some story elements.
Good stuff. Cool. We're gonna move on to the comics now.
Well, I guess that's going to bring us to Justice League versus Suicide Squad number 3, with Joshua Williamson as the writer, Jesus Moreno as penciler, Andy Owens as inker, Alex Sinclair with Jeremiah Skipper on color. And this is officially the halfway mark of the Justice League versus Suicide Squad. And we pick up with Batman in his straitjacket, which he quickly escapes and goes to meet with Amanda Waller. And we get a little surprise for the actual Suicide Squad, who's a little shocked to see the Justice League locked up in their containment cells. There's a little dialogue between each member of the Justice League and the Suicide Squad. And then we get a flash to Alex Lord and his team raiding an island for an ancient, I think it was an ancient artifact. Turns out he's trying to control some kind of great, as the shaman says, evil.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of power he can't hope to contain. I got an idea of who I think it might be. Then it's revealed that Amanda Waller and Batman have essentially talked about what's actually going on, and the Justice League is pretty much going to end up teaming up with the Suicide Squad in order to protect Amanda Waller from Max Lord and his team, which everybody except Batman finds hilarious.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed at the end that the reason that they're actually coming for Amanda is because they were the original Suicide Squad. You got some thoughts and opinions on this before I get into this beast?
Yeah, it was an okay issue. So, like you said, we're at the halfway mark. 3 more issues left. I'm really hoping things pick up now. I still keep wanting more of the Maxwell Lord, task force, his team. But we keep getting little sprinkles of it. We finally have their motive. Who do you? Because I couldn't really think of who would be at Bel Rev, if that's the case, that he would be needing from Bel Rev. What were your theories on that?
I don't know. I'm not even sure if it's supposed to be somebody who's on the main roster of the Suicide Squad, or We talked about this before with Killer Frost because we weren't aware Killer Frost was even there. We had I think it was during the actual Suicide Squad run that we just wrapped up, where we were talking about who else is in Bel Rev, like who else is locked up there that we don't know about. Yeah. So with that being known, it could be anybody. They could pull anybody out. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be somebody who's actually on the squad itself. The way that
maybe
the
Killer
story,
Frost, I could see.
Yeah, I was about to say the way this issue is and the last issue was, I'm kind of leaning towards it being Killer Frost. Because they're kind of giving her more shine.
Yes, they are, and that was one of my notes. Like, yeah, it's kind of a Killer Frost centered story, but I mean the storytelling,
especially this one.
Yeah, the storytelling that they're giving her, though, is pretty solid. The scene with her and Superman.
It's one of my favorite scenes in the book.
Same here. And he's like, you paused before, you could have killed me, but you stopped yourself. From killing
I
me.
could hear Amanda Waller in your head saying she was going to kill you, but you still paused.
Mm-hmm.
You could have killed me, but you didn't. You hesitated to even try to take my power.
Yeah, and she gives that backstory of like how she was going to give up on, drop out of college.
Until she saw him her first day in Metropolis. She saw Superman, and that gave her hope.
Yep, I thought that was good. The writing is
that was a good little character development for her, because like I said, she's a character that I know of has never really been fully fleshed out.
Same, and I guess I personally haven't read enough with her to really get much of a backstory or really get to know her. So he's doing a good job of touching on her a little bit, because she's going to be joining the JLA. So they want to touch on that and bring that in. So it's heading towards that as well.
You've been saying that this is essentially you believe this is the setup to her joining the JLA, and in this issue I can definitely believe it because of that interaction with Superman, and knowing what Superman we're dealing with. This definitely seems like something he's going to put in the memory, and when this is all said and done, he's probably going to be the one who's going to maybe talk to Batman, because you see how adamant Batman is about, you guys are villains, that's all you ever be, you had your chance and you failed.
I thought that was a good line. I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot to put that in my notes. Yeah, I thought that was really good. How he still shut him down, like giving them no hope that they are better than Suicide Squad.
Like, there's no hope for you guys. You guys, have these abilities, have these skills, but you failed. So you guys are forever going to be villains and murderers and everything else. There's no redemption for you.
Yeah. Well, the little bit that we got of Maxwell Lord and his team was pretty solid, though, when they're on the island and they're we get the first panel of I guess we'll call them Task Force X for now, or the first Suicide Squad. That's what we can call them. But we get that first shot of them, and Emerald Empress is like, Max said the shamans were going to be a challenge, and you see him like they wiped all these like shamans out that were trying to kill him. And then you got Maxwell Lord torturing the shaman dude and, getting that piece of information that he needed.
Yeah, he's like, you can never hope to control him. You might be able to manipulate a pack of wild dogs, but you're not powerful enough to contain him.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm hoping, it makes me wonder where this will go. Like, it doesn't seem that big of an event just yet, but I think the next issue could really change that around real quick. Because it's been slow paced.
Yeah, I think I said last week that I thought this issue was going to be more the final setup, putting all the people and all the pieces on the board, and then the next few issues are going to be the reveal of whatever it is Maxwell Lord and them are trying to get, plus more act. I think we're going to see more of his team in the next issue. So I think this was the last little bit of setup. I think issue 2 and this one were setup issues, especially this one. This is the last piece to set everything up.
Yeah, it was definitely stretched out between these 3 issues of setup, especially the second one. They kind of hit some of the same beats, but this was a better issue. Probably my favorite issue of it so far. It's hard to say.
So I was going to say, so far this is my favorite issue too, especially the part where they're explaining each member of his team.
Mm-hmm.
when they're giving a rundown. This remind me of like maybe an old action movie where they're describing the team, and you get a quick little video of what they can do, and then an explanation of who they are and why they're doing it. And you just move to the next person real fast.
Yeah, and speaking of that scene, that's I don't know what Katana's doing, but after they announced Rustum,
you know what she's doing.
She like has her blade out, like she's already like scared of him or something. I thought that was funny. Like, what is she doing? Paranoid.
She wasn't scared of him. What I took it as, and I love that little moment because they were talking about how he fancies himself an assassin. He's got that flaming sword that can cut through anything, and they're essentially saying like, he's one of the baddest swordmen on the planet. Like he's considered one of the greatest. He's like, oh really? I beg to differ.
I could see that. Yeah, that makes more sense now. Reading back,
especially early in the issue, they talk about Katana and her sword. They mention her in the beginning of the issue about that sword, and how she's a little antsy.
Yeah, I want to see more of her. Like we really haven't seen too much Katana, even in the Suicide Squad book.
No, we've said that before. Like you got a great character there that you could do some stuff with. Like, stop having her in the background just looking good, and just have her like in the foreground doing something.
Yeah, she's always protecting either Waller or Rick Flag.
Yeah,
but I do like.
I want to.
Go ahead.
You're hyping up how bad she is with that sword and how dangerous that sword is. I want to see her using it.
Yeah, let's see it now, and hopefully we get that. Hopefully this issue or the next issue really ramps up, but I guess ramps up like this entire event, and these last 3 issues are just like bam, 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 like awesomeness, and hopefully this wraps up well.
I think it is. I think in the next issue, I think Max Lord's squad is actually going to assault Bel Rev. I think they're going to go to Bel Rev, kind of try to catch everyone off guard to get whoever it is they need from there. So I'm willing to bet the next issue is going to be like an action issue.
I would hope so. I do like the.
Matter of fact,
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, matter of fact, I'm going to try to call this now. You ready for this? This is my theory.
All right.
My theory is the next issue is an action issue. They go into Bel Rev. There's a big fight through most of the issue. They get whatever they need and they leave. And then issue 5 is going to be where the Justice League and Suicide Squad are going to regroup to get ready for their final assault. And then issue 6 is going to be the conclusion, obviously, the final assault with whatever the outcome is going to be. Whether they win, whether they kind of win, whether, they lose at first and then win at the last minute. But I think that's what the narrative is going to be.
Yeah, I just don't want to see them regroup. Only because it's like 6 issues. Mm-hmm. They already spent 2 issues really setting up what these 2 teams, because we kind of called it, we know they're going to team up to face something bigger, and so it took them 2 issues to do that. So I personally don't want to see them regroup, but I like everything else that you've said though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you personally. I don't think they should. I think if they get attacked, they should almost immediately be like, no, we don't have time to regroup because of who they took, and we finally know what it is they're after.
Yeah,
we don't have action. That time. We got to go now. I would love for them to do that.
Yeah,
I just kind of feel like that we're going to get a regroup.
I'm going to call that we don't. That's my theory, and we'll see. We'll see who gets the right one next week.
Yeah.
But I do like the Johnny Sorrow piece that we got. They kind of touched on the former actor turned psycho was trapped in another dimension, but exchanged his physical body to become the emissary of a god called King of Tears. So I just like that, kind of touching on, in the last issue he mentioned that this reality had been changed. This is not the same when I was here. Even though it doesn't give it's not really a clue or anything to Rebirth, but just the fact that kind of bringing back up that he is from another universe. Well, he is from the universe that he originally knows, but it's kind of just being changed. So I think
pre-Flashpoint.
Yeah, pre-Flashpoint. So I think hopefully Johnny Sorrow in the end plays out to be a bigger part in what's moving forward after this event.
I like the explanation, like you said, that they gave for him, especially that little tidbit where it's like, okay, well, he knows that when he was here in his regular form that something was different, that it was a different universe, and now there's so much has changed. But I also like the fact that they're like, yeah, we had to edit the video because if you saw his face, you would die. Even on the video, if you saw his face, you would die.
Yeah, you mentioned the Batman smirk, and they're all laughing.
Well, the thing, you talking about the part where she's like, yeah, you have to protect me.
Yeah.
And everyone starts laughing, and Batman's kind of like, settle down.
Settle down,
but he's got
kids.
like a lightweight smirk on his face.
Yeah, because it looks like it's just like the Suicide Squad's laughing, and then Batman has that smirk on his face. Like, settle down, kids.
It's what's funny is if you look at the panels, like if you just really look at them, the first panel at the top, she's like, me, they want to kill me, and I want you all to protect me.
Yeah.
And then you see everyone standing there looking at her, just looking dead serious. Then they start laughing, and you can see the people on the team who are like the serious people are kind of looking at each other like, what's so funny? And then Batman is the one that kind of stops, like, settle down. It is funny, but settle down.
Yeah, that was a good moment. And then
you see Wonder Woman look at Superman, and Batman's looking at everybody like, stop laughing, it's not funny.
I did like the fact that Superman freaked out on Boomerang. He was like, Maxwell Lord is nothing to fuck around with. Like,
yeah, he's like Maxwell Lord.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get possessed again.
He gets the heat vision and everything. Like, oh boy, if looks could kill, I'd burn through him right now.
And then we see Katana in the background again.
Yep, just standing there.
Just standing there. I know she wasn't even in that panel of them laughing. Now that I look at it.
Let me see. Turn the page.
Unless they.
No, it's probably nowhere to be found.
Probably because her and Rick Flag were off. Maybe that's why. Because they come back into the picture. But yeah.
Oh, you know what? I know why she wasn't in the panel. It's because if you go back to that panel where she's at, her and Rick Flag are actually like off to the left behind Waller.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was mentioning.
Yeah, so from that angle we wouldn't see them because they're like off to the left, probably like up against the wall or something, or sit at a desk.
Well, you're right. Overall, not a bad issue. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I had in mind. I love the last panel of the first Suicide Squad.
The OGs.
Yeah, the OGs. I thought that was cool. That was like very classic. Even though like some of the art in this issue, not as good as the previous issue. I think the previous one was Jason Fabok. That was pretty solid. But this last page though that he does with the color artist, it's pretty solid. It kind of has like a '90s throwback feel.
Yes,
I really like it.
It's like we about to go in the battle. We about to wreck shop.
Yeah, because I want to see more of this team. I'm more interested in them. Because, like, we get so much Justice League and Suicide Squad on, either television or in the comics. Or mainly, or I guess what I should say, like, Justice League and Suicide Squad in the entertainment world. Like, the popular one. So it's good to see, old school characters coming back and promoting them.
Yeah, it's good to see the old guys still kicking around.
Still kicking. And I like I guess what I really like, one of the reasons I really like reading this book is because there are little rebirth Easter eggs, sprinkled in there. Little hints of things.
Well, they got to start. They really got to start ramping up this rebirth thing.
Yeah, at least
they got to start
put it
ramping
into motion.
up the Easter eggs and what the overall thing is. They really need to. Like you want them to take their time on it, but you don't want them to take too much time on it and kill the story.
True. But yeah, overall not a bad book, and I'm enjoying it so far. Even though it doesn't really feel like a big event yet for their first event, it still has me interested in reading it and seeing how this all goes.
Yeah, I would agree. I think depending on who this person is, Maxwell Lord is looking for, I think depending on who that is going to depend on how big this event is actually going to feel.
Yeah, 'cause my first thought was like Darkseid, but I don't think he would.
That was my
be
first thought too. Was Darkseid.
Yeah, I don't think he would be at Bel Rev. I don't. I feel he's too powerful. But then I thought of Zod, but they put him back.
They put him back where?
True. Well, they put him back in the that sphere.
Yeah, but does that mean he's not at Bel Rev?
True. That's very true. Yeah, they never.
I didn't even think about Zod. You just said it. I'm like, yeah, Zod, like, technically should, from what we read and saw in the Suicide Squad, he should still be there.
But I wonder.
He's locked up, but he should still be there.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if that would be big enough of a person to wait on. I don't know. Like, because does Zod really have to do anything with the evil that the monk was talking about? I would think.
Yeah, that's what made me think of Darkseid, because he made it seem like this is some kind of ancient evil or evil that's been around for a while.
A while, yeah. Yeah, time will tell.
So I'm thinking like Darkseid or Trigon or something, like someone who's been around for a while and could have a reputation throughout the universe.
If they bring in Steppenwolf, I'm going to be a little salty. We gotta push this movie.
Yeah, I think some air would be let out the balloon.
Yeah. Overall, fun issue though. I'm enjoying this book.
Yeah, definitely enjoying it. Definitely want to see what's gonna happen to 4.
Same. Cool. We can move on if you want.
It's fine with me. I'm definitely want to talk about this next one. Definitely.
Yes. So next we have Batman number 14, the first part of the Rooftops arc, written by Tom King, and artist is Mitch Gerards, I believe. That's how you pronounce it. But post I Am Suicide Squad arc, we see the time Batman and Catwoman are spinning together before Cat is sent to Blackgate. Batman's able to break an arm or two to get the death penalty removed. The sexual tension is high between the two throughout the book, and the two spend the night, taking down zealous villains before finally having their moment on the rooftop. And that pretty much sums up the book. I was expecting more answers from after I Am Suicide Squad. I figured it would be hinted at, or not hinted at, but that Batwoman and Catwoman would have, obviously the tension that they've been having throughout the issues, or since the arc has started. It was interesting to see that. Also, I guess another thing, negative-wise so far, is the murders that Catwoman has been, that she's claiming that she didn't do, but she did do, but Batman doesn't believe her. The murder victim, that whole thing still isn't touched on. I guess I was expecting some answers, but at the same time, I was expecting, a Catwoman, Batwoman type field book, if that makes sense.
I mean, that makes sense. So are you saying that you thought that maybe she was going to take this time to try to escape again, or
either escape, or we would not escape, but we would figure out, the truth about the murders that she claims that, the 237 people, or however many it was, that she did. That wasn't really explained. Maybe it will be explained in the next issue, but it doesn't seem like it. It seems like this is kind of just a filler, like a fun Batwoman or Batman and Catwoman story. So yeah, I guess I just didn't get any answers that I thought this arc would be. Because when the arc ended, I was like, I don't consider this an arc ending yet, because I want to see what happens in Rooftops. But that whole idea is still out.
You want to see what happened in 14 and 15.
Exactly. So that's thrown out the window now. So a little disappointing. I thought the art was fantastic. Catwoman's face looked a little off at times, but I think it was kind of just the expression and the movement, because there was a lot of moving in this issue. But what did you think overall?
Oh boy, I was waiting for that. I was like
Yeah.
a kid playing double dutch, waiting to jump in. I have to actually counteract some of the things you said. Like I love this issue. The reason I loved it, I just want to start off by saying that from the beginning of the I Am Suicide arc, you remember what I was saying about Catwoman in the first place, like what should be done with her as a character, and where I see her place now in the Batman universe and the Batman lineup. And I really think this issue kind of sort of hints at that possibility possibly becoming reality. We didn't get answers about the murderers, even though she did say that if he gave her this one night, he would tell her everything. She would tell him everything, which I'm guessing, like she knows she didn't do it, but I think she feels at this point, considering her reputation, it doesn't make a difference. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter whether she did it or not. You know, she's considered a criminal by a lot of people, so technically she should be locked up anyway. I liked the tension between them through the whole entire issue. At first, I did think she was going to run, and like you kind of said, I thought it was going to be one of those cat and bat issues where she's running, he's chasing her, and that's pretty much the issue. I love the fact that they spent most of the night fighting, like you said, D or Z list Batman characters like Kite Man and the Condiment King and the Clock King. Like, that was just hilarious to me that they just fought. Like, when I saw the Clock King, I was like, really, the Clock King?
Yeah, he appeared in Green Arrow too so far.
But when I think of the Clock King, I always think of Batman though.
Yeah, same. He was in the first Rebirth issue.
And but just the fact that he came out, like I said, the Condiment King, it was like the most ridiculous Bat villains we could think of. And then, of course, they ended with Kite Man. And I was like, they had to throw Kite Man in there, didn't they?
That I still got a chuckle out of that. While like I was kind of bored with the book, I still got a chuckle. Like, I laughed out loud for the Kite Man part. I was
of course, because he's the only one that they like beat and then hung around, and he's just sitting there moaning and groaning on the ground, and just kind of left him there.
Yeah.
I like. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to just say the whole when they're fighting the villains on the rooftop, like that 4-panel page. Yeah. It kind of like threw me off. Like, do these villains like just keep coming to the same roof? You know, and you know Batman's just like taking them on because like he kept getting a bat signal all night, and you would think that was in different locations, but maybe it's just the storytelling that they were trying to play at. But that kind of threw me off, and the dialogue.
I didn't take it as that. I took it at, well, definitely the rooftop thing. Like, except for the Clock King, it looked like he may have been just beating people up, even though they didn't even really give a background on most of the villains. You're talking about, yeah. Wait a sec, hold on. That does look like the exact same rooftop. Now that I'm looking at it.
Yeah, it is. It literally
where
is.
He's fighting Cavalier, Zebra Man, Film Freak, Mad Monk.
Yeah.
It does look like the exact same. Maybe they teamed up. or maybe all rooftops in Gotham look the same.
Yeah, or that. Or it's, you know, that could be the case. We'll chalk it up to that in storytelling.
But I did also like the fact that she gave him something he had been looking for what they say 2 years.
Yeah, was it 4 years?
That cat.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years. And he had been looking for it, and she said, you know, basically, I'm going to give it to you. And then she gave him all the savings that she had saved up. And was like, you know, do something positive with this, do something good with it. You know, build an orphanage, build a dozen orphanages. You know, do something good. Let some good come out of this. And then, of course, the way it ends, I was like, about time.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. It's like a little romantic softcore porn story for Tom King to write.
Well, when she was like in the beginning, she was like, "Let us spend, you know, the night together." That's where I figured it was heading. And then all the bat signals things started happening. I'm like, oh well, they're going to spend the whole night fighting, and they're not going to get to have their romantic moment together. And then, you know, at the end, they get it, and Batman gets it, and it's on a pile of diamonds.
Yeah, I figured it was leading up to all that. I don't know, and I was kind of bummed on this issue. Like, the more I think about it, it's like the dialogue kind of didn't work for me. Like, because he kind of played that whole cat and mouse thing again that he did at the end of one of the issues or the beginning when he's chasing Catwoman at the beginning of I Am Suicide Squad arc. I think he might have overused it just a little bit for me personally. Some of it didn't work.
See, the thing is that's what I expected the whole issue to be. I expected the whole issue to be like that scene in that issue where he was going to spend the whole issue actually, you know, physically chasing her down. The dialogue, like you said, the dialogue was similar to that. But yeah, I actually liked it. I could definitely see some discrepancies, like you said, with the artwork. I didn't notice the backgrounds were the same when it was like 4 panels, but I actually liked it and didn't mind it. I do want those answers, you know, of the people she supposedly murdered. I'm hoping that setup was for the next issue where he's going to take her in and she's going to finally reveal what happened, and that's going to begin him trying to find a way to actually prove what she says is true. But I kind of like giving Batman and Catwoman this moment. Like, I kind of like giving them this issue.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that while Batman's, you know, having his playtime with Catwoman, you know, Gotham Girl, because you haven't read the first I Am Gotham arc, have you?
No, I still haven't read that.
Okay, I'm gonna spoil like a little thing just because I have to talk about it. Gotham Girl, it's like at the end of Gotham Girl, the reason he goes to Santa Prisca is to get Psychopirate so he can save Gotham Girl. And it seems like we've almost forgotten about Gotham Girl. Like, personally, when I was reading I Am Suicide Squad arc, like, I even forgot about her. Like, you know, it's crazy to think about. But then when I really thought about it, I was like, you know, we haven't got anything about Gotham Girl as well. I'm hoping that as soon as the I Am Bane arc starts, you know, that gets picked up as well. Just because it seems like we've almost lost the reason he's out doing all this at this moment in time.
Okay.
But you really should.
If I would have read it, I can definitely see looking at it from that perspective. Like you said, this is kind of forgetting the whole reason we're actually here, the whole reason the whole last arc actually happened. But even knowing that, I still have to say I enjoyed the issue. Like,
yeah, I mean, to each your own for sure. Like, I didn't hate this issue. I just didn't. I just didn't love it. I thought it was okay overall.
I think I would probably compare it to the one story in the was that the Batman Annual where he was watching the acrobats.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was fun to see Batman just have that kind of moment. That's why I like this issue. I think it's fun to actually see them finally have this moment and not just have it be like that tension between the two. Like, well, do they want to be together? Do they not want to be together? How they like? He's actually acting like a person. Like, you can actually see that Batman does love Catwoman.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you there.
And you know my theory or my idea of bring her into the fold, and this is kind of reinforces the idea that she could be brought into the fold.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I personally, I do want to get past this rooftop arc and see how it goes. But in the back, there is a Super Sons.
Yes. I'm sorry. I know I just went from like 0 to 1,000 just now with that, but yes.
No, I was same here. Like, that was one of the redeeming things for me about this book. I was like, hell yeah, Super Sons next month.
I was like, finally, my girl was actually sitting next to me while I was reading this, and you know, she was looking at my reactions because I had some reactions going all the way through this book. And when I got there, I was like, oh yeah, about time.
Yeah. But yeah, I've heard a couple people say they didn't like the Kite Man thing. I personally liked it. That was a nice little fun factor for me. I laughed out loud at it. So, like, he actually got his own little moment, which I thought was cool, instead of just like that one page.
Yeah, he had a like you said that one page. He I think out of all of them, he had the most extended moment.
Yeah. But yeah, also, one of the things I was thinking about is, this could also be just a break, because it could, kind of be one of the reasons why the bi-weekly thing may not always be good, just because they do have to crank. I would personally I wouldn't mind if this was a monthly book opposed to coming out every week, because I think we would get just a little bit more storytelling, and it wouldn't be rushed. So to say.
I got you. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, depending on how far ahead you're planning out and how well you have stuff set up, I do think a bi-weekly could work, but it's not always the case.
No.
We've seen bi-weeklies before where that just does not work.
The art was a treat, though. I did enjoy the art. Like I said, besides the few nitpicks about Catwoman's face, but I thought the art was amazing.
Which one you're talking about. You're talking about the part where she was smiling, too.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
That was the main one, too, that threw me off. I got there and was kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
We could have done a little bit better there. Because the page before is the one... No, not the page before. Yeah, that's the page before where she's kind of giving the sad face. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. And then we get to the smile, and I'm like, oh,
Kind of looks like Joker.
Yeah, don't smile, Catwoman. It's one of the three Jokers. He hits you with the Joker gas.
Maybe she's one of the Jokers.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be fucked up?
Maybe. One of the Jokers is Catwoman.
And she slept with him. Good stuff. But yeah, I don't have anything else for that unless you do.
Nope.
Cool.
I think it's kind of funny that we ended there saying that Catwoman was one of the Jokers, because that actually kind of leads into our next issue.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Which is going to be Harley Quinn number 11, which is starting off the Joker Loves Harley arc, and we have Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti on writer. Say what?
Jimmy Palmiotti.
Okay, hey, there you go. Sometimes I'm terrible with names.
No, same here.
And then we have John Timms as artist, and this was actually the first time I've actually paid attention and saw that there's hi-fi colors in a book, which explains a lot with this book.
Mm-hmm.
And those were done by Amanda Connor, and Alex Sinclair. We pick up where we left off, actually in issue 9, with Harley finding the Joker in her room, and she doesn't take too kindly to this and asks him essentially to leave, and he agrees to leave, but he says they have something to talk about, and he wants to meet with her in the park the following day at noon. He figures that a public place would allow her to feel more safe for whatever it is he needs to actually tell her. After this, we have an interaction with Joker and Red Tool, which is kind of funny. And then Red Tool pops up to Harley, and they decide to pop off to investigate something that they had found in an earlier issue. While this is going on, we actually get to see that the the new mayor is actually hiring a new assistant, and she's informing him of what the police chief has been doing as far as working with people like Harley Quinn, and has a plan to end this and make it so that the mayor is actually not involved or won't be perceived to be involved in it. Then we get Harley and Red Tool, who bust open a door that's in the lower level of the apartment that's been chained up, and they end up fighting some kind of alien squid jellyfish creature. And by the time they're done doing this, it turns out it's about 9:30 in the morning, and Harley needs to get some sleep so she can actually get up and meet the Joker. And then we end with the Joker waiting for Harley at noon in the park, and Red Tool pops up, and him and Red Tool have a little conversation about the fact that Red Tool wants him to go away permanently, which the Joker tells him to make him. Do you have any feedback on this issue?
Yeah, let me ask you something real quick. Did this satisfy the lead up? Did this issue satisfy the lead up to the tease of Joker for you?
It started to, and then it dropped it.
Yeah. Like literally after their conversation, it dropped it for me too.
Yeah, that's where it started. When they started having that conversation, and she's kind of like, I thought I said all I had to say when I saw you in Arkham, and he's like, well, I have something that I really need to talk to you about. And like their whole interaction, I was kind of like, oh boy, this is what I've been waiting for. Where are they going to take this? And then he leaves, and Red Tool pops in. And I'm kind of like, okay, well, they're going to give her some time, and then they're going to meet up. And then they go on this whole side adventure, and that's where it completely lost it for me.
Yeah, when it got to the mayor part, I was like, oh, this is time for a lot of filler before we get to the last panel of we'll see Joker again at the last panel, and that's kind of what happened.
Is exactly what happened.
They had some funny moments in this, mainly at the beginning.
Yeah,
first with like Red Tool kicking down the door after Joker left the first time. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, he was like, I know exactly what you need.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then he gets butt naked, and she laughs it off. But he actually wants to hit it, and she's put him in the friend zone.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, the interaction you said, like when Joker leaves and Red Tool runs into him, that was a good moment. That was funny. That made me chuckle a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But the squid, I was still in it even when the mayor thing popped up, because that's something that makes sense to pop up in this book because of her work with the police chief. I figured that would probably pop up sooner or later. But
a lot of it was dedicated.
Say that again?
So there was quite a few pages dedicated to that whole mayor interaction.
Yeah, I was still in it before when that happened, but then when the squid thing started happening, that's when I was like, they're going to eat the rest of this issue up with this squid fight, and we won't see Joker until the last panel, and then sure enough, the last 2 pages, we see Joker.
Yeah, I do like the idea of Red Tool kind of turning off her alarm, because he actually, he loved her, in a way he pretty much loves her. But she's put him in the friend zone right now. So I did like the idea of him having her keeping her out all night and then turning off her alarm so he can go see Joker. But at the same time, that could have been in the middle of the issue, and then we could have saw more interaction with Red Tool and Joker to see where this is all going. But yeah, it got smacked down filler issue in the middle.
Yeah, and I mean, that bothered me a lot because I've been waiting for this since they started teasing it.
I was wondering what you were going to think.
Soap, I was like, Joker's coming back. And then we saw the psych eval, and I was like, Joker's almost here. He's going to be back. And then the issue number 9, when he actually popped up and shot Berta, and then he popped in at the end of the issue. I was pumped. And then we got the little Christmas issue, which hurt my feelings. And then we get here, and I'm pumped again, and I'm into the story. And then we get towards the kind of middle of the book, and then it's dropped off, and I'm like, I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have to do a lot in 12 to make this up to me for me to really get that excitement back.
It was funny too that Joker was able just to walk around and no one noticed him. I thought that was.
I thought the same thing when he left and nobody was recognized him.
Everyone knows who the Joker is.
Yeah, I don't care if they're in New York. You're right. Everybody would be able to recognize the Joker.
It's not that far from Gotham. Close, actually.
That, and they're living in a world where I'm sure the escapades of what the Joker's doing in Gotham are making it around the country, so people
yeah.
would see news articles and news reports on TV about Joker and even Harley Quinn and the Batman and all that stuff. Like, so when that kind of didn't make sense and bothered me just a little bit. And I did think it was funny though. Like, really, he's just walking down, he's strolling down the street, nobody recognizes him. He's posted up sitting in the park, and nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, the Joker didn't really look
He's
right
just
to
sitting
me
in
either.
the park with his flowers.
Wasn't a fan of his look so much. I was surprised at his demeanor though in this issue. Like, I was kind of with Harley. Like, I was really surprised at his whole demeanor and the way he was talking. I thought that was interesting. How he left on, her accord. Like, she didn't want him there, so he didn't push it or anything. He left and respected her space. I thought that was an interesting take, at least.
That was, and the fact he's sitting in the park holding a bouquet of roses was also interesting. Like, the Joker, like, are those exploding roses? Like, I'm really wondering what Joker we're about to get, and I'm wondering if he's going to have some kind of explanation for the three Joker thing.
I'm going to say no. Excuse me. Just because this is like so bonkers.
So you don't think do you think that the three Jokers even know that there's two other Jokers around? Or do you think that they all think they're the one and only Joker?
I'm gonna go and say that they all think they're the only Joker. I think that's how they would play it. I could see them playing it.
You think so?
Yeah.
What if it turned out that they all were at one point the same Joker, but somehow the personalities have split?
That's
into
good.
Individual big persons or beings.
I would like that. That'd be a cool take on it. Instead of
because people always made that complaint, like, or a comment about the Joker and how his personality is never the exact same. Like, that's why the three that they showed seem like they represent the three different personalities we always see from the Joker. We see like the gangster, the clown, and the crazy madman.
Yeah, I could see that take on it. I would be cool with that take too if they did that. Cause
that just hit me like that'd be kind of awesome.
Yeah, I'd be into that. But other than that, I really don't have much for this book. It's kind of a little bit of a letdown for me.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Letdown.
It had some good moments.
Who's been listening to the show regularly knows that I don't consider them the best books, but I do enjoy the Harley Quinn books. And this is something I was really hyped and amped up and excited about. And so far, it's been a partial letdown. I'm going to say not full letdown, but it's been a partial letdown for me with this issue.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely it still has the Harley feel to it, but overall, just the story was very dragged out.
Yeah, it's the fact they dragged it out and they inserted the two. Well, for me, it was really the one. I would have been okay with just the mayor part being in there, but the fact that they've inserted the whole adventure with Red Tool,
wasted the day away.
You could have still had Red Tool, do her alarm clock or something like that, like reset it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how this plays out. It's not starting off on a good note. Definitely tell you that.
Yeah, and I was excited when I got the book and I saw that it was Joker Loves Harley Part 1. I'm like, okay, so this is about to be a little arc. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I prefer
and
Harley.
So far, it's not off to the best of starts for me.
Yeah, I prefer Harley and Suicide Squad right now over this Harley personally. And I'm not like a huge Harley fan.
I'm even though I'm a fan, I'm honestly always wondering how much longer her book is going to be around.
Yeah, I like to see I've been meaning to look at the sales for last month, or not last month, because it's probably aren't out yet. But the prior months, really, just to see where her books are standing.
Yeah. But that's all I have for this one.
Yeah, same here. All right, so next is Faith number 7 from Valiant Comics, written by Jody Houser, art by Joe Isma, I believe, Andrew Dahlhaus, and Marguerite Sauvage. So just a quick little backstory, and about the previous arc as well. So the previous arc before, or not the previous arc, but the previous 2 arcs before this was the Long Con arc, and essentially she was battling this villain named Murder Mouse, and he had a relic that was able to duplicate people. So he actually duplicated Faith. And it turned out, you would have thought it would have been like the evil Faith, but they ended up teaming up to take down Murder Mouse, and in order to destroy the relic, the dupe Faith flew it into the sun, costing her life in order to save the rest of the world. So just a quick little backstory before I get into the summary of things. I'll probably mention something else about the backstory that I probably forgot. But throughout her day, Faith has several hallucinations of people close to her who have died, and Dupe being one of them. And it was the Dupe, her parents, and Flamingo. That's what I forgot to mention. Flamingo, who died at the end of Harbinger Wars, and then part of Faith's origin is that her parents died in a car accident when she was young. But eventually, in the end of the issue, she's not sure, if she will be able to return for work for a while, because she's having these crazy hallucinations and she can't really function. But not much given to the plot, but there was still enough in this issue that I thought to discuss overall. And this is your introduction to Faith, and I've been talking about it on here and to you for a while now. How was your introduction to this character?
Oh, this is actually an interesting introduction. I wasn't all the way aware of most of the backstory. I know they had a kind of a previously in the beginning of the book, which helped me kind of catch up a little bit. I definitely like the idea that we have a hero who's actually juggling in a way that I've never really seen, with the deaths they feel are caused by them. The fact that she's essentially hallucinating through the whole issue. Through the issue, she keeps seeing these visions, like you said, of the people that she feels essentially she let down.
Yeah.
The question I do have, though, is how many people know that she's a hero?
Just the person who was who works with her. So 2, 3, 4, 3 people. Oh, and her boss. So 4 total.
Okay, that's what I was asking, because she kept interacting with people throughout this issue, and they're all like, well, you could just use your powers to do this, or you don't feel good. Like, I thought powers, would make sure you felt good. You should be able to... Yeah, I just thought that was weird, because obviously this is my first issue. And it just seemed like everybody knew she was a hero.
Yeah, it's mainly just the people that she works with, because she met this costume designer through one of her co-workers. It's her boyfriend.
Okay, well, that puts things in another perspective for me. I definitely also enjoyed the geek references throughout the book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The references to Superman. I enjoyed the fact that she
Harry
tried
Potter.
to relax by playing the game.
Yeah. Like shifters.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, she's playing the PS4. What's her gamer tag?
Yeah, one of the things that really stuck out to me was at the beginning of the issue when she's talking to, I wish I could remember her name, but she's talking to the costume designer, and for some reason the tiles on the floor really stood out to me. It's very different from the rest of the room, and almost the tiles made the scene feel very realistic. I don't know
Yeah, I
why
was gonna say because they look like actual tiles.
Yeah, I don't know why that stuck out to me so much. What else was there before I get into my theories? Because I have a few theories on this book now that because I've probably read this the most because I did a review on it as well. But what else? Yeah, the subtle note of the Valiant's doing a cool way of hinting at the Harbinger War 2 that's coming. Because they have a series called Harbinger Renegades right now. It's kind of setting up the next big event for the Harbingers, and I like the subtle tie-in of the two books instead of it being a tie-in to the whole event like right away. Kind of just like the subtle note mentioning that she is juggling both bringing back the Renegades and working and being Faith in her own little city. But yeah, like you said, the whole everything, how she's juggling it, is an interesting take on it. But then you get to the...
as I said, as this being my introduction, I don't really know about the... I didn't read, obviously, the previous arcs, and you're definitely... have you been reading Faith since the beginning?
Yeah, since the beginning.
Okay, so yeah, you're definitely well more than this than me.
Mm-hmm. I actually finally just finished the first Harbinger Wars. It's actually a really, really solid superhero take. I definitely recommend reading that sometime. But yeah, she comes from that team, and they're kind of bringing them back together right now. What did you think of the fantasy sequence art when she enters the comic shop?
You said when she enters the comic shop.
Yeah, when she's her first dream that she has.
Oh, that was okay. That was the first. I'm thinking like, which dream was that? That was the first one. And she was there was the comic shop, and she was trying to see if she had read the issue or not.
Yeah.
And she's like, haven't you read this issue? First of all, I thought it was awesome that they had her go into the comic shop. Like that's just awesome to have a world where you have a hero who enjoys things that are basically based off of what they actually do.
Yeah, she's nerdy. Yeah.
Which I definitely picked up. I saw it on the cover where it says that, but I definitely picked that up from this issue that she is nerdy, and she probably, with exception of the people that dies, I'm willing to bet she has a kind of a ball doing this.
Oh yeah.
She actually enjoyed being a hero, except for the couple of deaths here and there.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of I started catching up on Marguerite Sauvage's art through Faith. She does a lot of good work, and because she does like the few dream sequence or fantasy dream sequences throughout the book, and the art's like really solid. It's sometimes I wish the whole book. Hopefully, one day the whole book is dedicated to her art. But I like the idea of it being used when she's in a dream or thinking of something else, like dazing off throughout the day.
Well, I was just gonna that was the next thing I was gonna say was about the art. Was I did enjoy the art, and I would definitely have to agree. Why I thought the overall art of the book was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say it's my favorite, but
it's not my favorite.
Dream sequences, especially that first one and the one she had when she's playing the video game. Like I really do like the artwork there.
Yeah, I think the regular art, regular story art, it's kind of varied throughout. The colors have always been the same, but everything else is kind of... I know there's been a few different pencilers or inkers on the book, but this was a pretty solid issue for the art for me, for the regular story art.
Yeah, and I definitely love the I was talking about the references, but there were some visual references too to some things that I kind of picked up on, like the vision she had towards the end where she sees her parents and they're dressed up like Star Trek characters.
Yeah, Star Trek characters, yeah.
And then when she covers the TV with the drape after the one hallucination with the game, the obviously it's not going to say it explicitly, but that's Doctor Who. Like that's the essentially a red TARDIS on that ship, and I love Doctor Who, so
Nah,
I
really.
picked that up. Her shirt looks like a the Wings of Freedom from Attack on Titan, so that's some anime influence there.
Okay.
And then of course she's playing the PS4.
Yeah, a little Street Fighter game. Night
Yeah, she's playing a
Shifters.
Street Fighter-ish game.
Yeah, that's actually Night Shifters is based on her. It's actually a TV show, and it's based on her favorite TV show in this universe.
Yeah, definitely geeky.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of geekiness to it. I think this arc, yeah, while we didn't get much of the plot of what's going on, I actually reread it yesterday, and I think I picked up on a theory. But when at the beginning of the issue, when she's getting the costume, one of the new ones, and the costume designer mentions that there was a break-in at her place. So I'm thinking, for some reason or another, my crazy theory is that has something to do with maybe the new costume that she has. If she has a new costume, and maybe that's playing into things, because that was a very, like, you may have even forgot about it, because it was a very throwaway line, that when the friend mentioned that there was a break-in, like, they didn't really touch on it after that. So I'm wondering if that has something to do with it.
I didn't even remember that. That must have been like definitely a passing line.
Oh yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, I see it.
So maybe that has something to do with it. I guess it left me. This book left me wanting to kind of reread it to see if if I missed anything, just because we weren't given much, but there is still a mystery to it that I like about it. Because the previous arc I wasn't a huge fan of. It was kind of a breathing arc for the character, maybe just to start pushing this story forward. But is this something you would pick up again, you think?
I think I would definitely give it another chance.
Yeah.
It didn't stun me.
Mm-hmm.
While I did enjoy like I said, the geek references and everything, I did enjoy the idea that she's hallucinating from these people that she feels died because of her. It didn't do quite enough for me as a reader to be sucked all the way in and super excited about it. But I mean, it wasn't something that I would never read this again.
Yeah, this issue definitely isn't a jumping on point issue. I think if you had read the arc before the prior one, you got maybe a little more excited, some more theories running around your head. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. Excuse me, to see what the mystery of this all is. One thing I do want to point out is I think it's funny, like how she kind of has like the wig for her, Clark Kent type day job. She's more. She pulled it off more just because she looks totally different than Clark Kent, who's just take away the glasses and the swoop, and you can tell he's Superman. So I like the idea of them actually making her look different at work.
Yeah, giving that actual extra effort to make it believable.
Yeah, because the only reason the coworkers, not all the coworkers, but a few of the coworkers know is because their office was attacked, and obviously she works there, so she saved them, and they kind of caught on that it was her real fast. I like that they got to the point real quick. Like, yeah, we noticed it. You didn't. You're not. That wasn't slick. We're not stupid. But yeah, it's been a fun issue for me so far. This is probably a better issue for me throughout the whole series so far. And I'm kind of into the Valiant universe and the Harbinger stuff right now, so it's cool to see all the little tie-ins and stuff like that. But yeah, next to DC and Marvel, Valiant's one of my my top publishers that I really love enjoying checking out their books so far. They have a pretty unique world.
They're making waves.
Yeah. they got the Ninjak web series coming out sometime soon. I'm really interested to watch. But yeah, if you don't have anything else for that, we can move on now. That's all I had.
Okay, well, that's also all that I had. So I guess we'll jump to the next book. All right, well, that'll bring us to our next book for the evening, which is going to be Champions number 4, which features Mark Waid as the writer and Ramos as penciler and Victor Alzaba as inker and Edgar Delgando. I'm so sorry about that. Delgando as colorist. And we pick up right after issue number 3, where the champions are trying to head home after being on their mission in the Middle East, and they're shot down. And as they're crashing and scrambling to try to figure out what exactly to do, and they manage to land in the ocean and keep the ship together. And they send Viv out to actually try to find land. And she finds land, but as they're headed towards the land, they are actually captured by an outpost of soldiers from Atlantis. And they actually have them in a containment unit. They say that they consider this an act of war because apparently the Hawk ship that he augmented was actually based off of a spy plane, and they recognize it as a spy plane. Now the champions are actually able to break free and able to get out and head back to civilization. And then we're teased at the end with the fact that they believe that anyone who's ready to stand up for the right thing can be a champion. And at that very moment, as this is being said, we see Gwenpool, who's actually suiting up and stitching a cape with the champion's logo on it. That brings us to the end of issue 4, more or less. What was your opinion on this issue? I know we loved issue 3. What did you think about issue 4?
I did not expect the ending at all.
Nor did I.
that came out of nowhere. Overall, I did enjoy the issue. A lot of good moments. I like the idea of kind of just wrapping up the story in one issue so far, what they've been doing. Besides carrying little character moments into each one, and they're still growing as a team, which I enjoy. Just overall really solid teamwork. Like the dialogue is very like a team that would be in action, kind of telling each other, vibing off each other, and giving, not necessarily giving orders, but say, hey, we should probably do this. Okay, you do this, I'll do this, and then each person taking a task in order to make sure everything gets taken care of. It's still a really well written book. One of my favorite moments was, only because I'm a huge Vision fan, is when she's fixing Nova's helmet. And
that's when my mom was too.
She was talking to him, and she's like, you're agitated, and it's kind of a distraction. Like, I can sense it on you. And then she kind of opens up,
and then she explains it.
Yeah, she opens up of kind of the whole her family dying and whatnot, or besides Vision, obviously. And if you had been reading Vision, I get, like, especially if you finish, if you're listening and you did finish it, it was probably a nice solid moment for you, because it was the first thing that's been touched on since everything in what's been going on. Well, I can't remember in 1 or 2 if they touched on it, really. I don't think so. But they really dedicated a page to Vision and giving us that little insight if you hadn't read the Vision book, which you should if you have not read yet, because it's one of the best Marvel books of 2016, hands down. I'd probably say the best Marvel book of 2016. But yeah, that was a really good moment for me. What were some of your favorites?
Well, that was actually one of my moments, even though I did not read the book, but I recognized that it was from that run, and I was wondering how you were going to feel about it, because you read the book and you've been telling me I need to read it, which I'm going to. I love that moment. I like the moment where Cyclops is using his optic blast to actually act as a propeller
that was real cool.
Propel the ship. and he's talking to her, and he's like, well, I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it feels good to be able to actually like open up and not have to hold back my power. I like the moment where the Hawk had a plan, and then it was like 20 minutes later, and he's like, okay, we can all agree that Hawk never makes a plan again.
Yeah, they get captured by the Antillians.
Yeah, and I also liked the fact that at first you were talking about playing off of each other, and it was mainly Miss Marvel and Cyclops kind of like they were taking dual leadership roles, and then in the end, Cyclops is kind of like, well, you know, you're going to be the leader, and it kind of seemed like he knows he could lead, but for the purposes of this team, he should play more of a supportive role, which is what I think Cyclops is going to be. He's going to be a Storm to the regular X-Men Cyclops.
Yeah.
So he's not going to necessarily be the leader, but he's going to be there for input and support and suggestions.
Yeah, it's nice that we finally have a team leader like solidified, because they've been kind of playing with it for the past few issues. So it's nice that it is solidified. And yeah, I like what you said, like him being the Storm, role of the team.
Yeah, at least that's the vibe I got from the end, because they immediately ask him, and he's like, "Well, she's the leader." And going into it, I figured it was going to be between those two. I thought Cyclops was going to lead until Miss Marvel was more or less so ready to lead. But she stepped up in this issue. Like, she stepped up all through this issue.
She did, yeah.
And there was even one part where her and Cyclops were on the exact same page.
Yeah, that was a good moment.
And I think that's when he was like, you know what? She put the team together. She obviously has a grasp on what it's going to take to kind of lead a team. I'm going to let her do this.
And it's really good to have Viv on the team, because her being a robot and she can go through things, makes it and she's smart, because she was able to translate their language and everything, their programs and whatnot, it seems. So it's good to have her.
I'm going to say this, since I haven't read the Vision series, these two issues 3 and 4 have been my introduction to Viv. And I'm really liking Viv as a character. In this issue in particular, this is the echo what she just said. She reminded me a little bit more of Martian Manhunter rather than Vision.
That's a good point. It's a very good point.
Like the demeanor, the abilities, like you said, the translating and everything. Like everything. Like, yeah, she has a bunch of her father's powers and all that, but she doesn't seem like Vision too much.
No, not at all.
Like,
I'm glad you bring that up, because I was just about to say she's her own character, and she really didn't have much of, or she had a role in the Vision book, but she's actually really able to breathe in this book right now.
Well, when I first saw her in 3, I was thinking like, oh, okay, well, I haven't read the Vision book, but I saw her in 3 and was just like, okay, so she's just going to be a female Vision, and definitely in this issue, I see that's not the case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's something I was just thinking of.
This was definitely a great issue, and I'm even more so now. I'm really liking Champions. Like, I'm really liking this book.
Same here. It's definitely still one of my favorites right now from Marvel.
Yeah, and this was one of those books where I didn't even want to touch this. Like, when I saw Champions in the comic store, I didn't really want to touch this book.
Yeah, I wanted to. It looked interesting.
3 and 4 had me looking differently.
Yeah, it looked interesting to me, but I ended up hearing like kind of just word of mouth. Like, a lot of people were giving it praise, so I was like, I'm finally going to check it out. And Mark Waid's done a good job of giving each person their own moment. Like, kind of like Teen Titans, but I don't want to say I love Teen Titans, but this team is also really good. Like, there's not one person.
No, this team is incredible because, like you said, with the writing, everybody's getting their moment to shine, but at the same time, you're also getting a team moment. This is kind of like the Marvel movies. Like, I just watched Age of Ultron last night, and during the battle scenes, they did this in the first Avengers movie. Like, yeah, you get the whole team there fighting as a team, but everybody has that moment to shine. Everyone has that oh, that was an amazing moment.
Yeah.
Where they do something, you're like, yeah, Captain America, yeah, you know, Hawkeye, yeah, Hawk. Like everyone has that moment. That's what this book does. Like you have a moment where you're like, oh, Viv is awesome. You have a moment where like, you know, you're like, Nova is awesome. You know, Cyclops. Like everyone has the moment, and they fit a team mode, and it's perfect.
Yeah, it's a solid book.
And
I don't want to compare it to Teen Titans because it is its own book, and Teen Titans has like a DC vibe. Like Marvel just seemed, I guess it's more colorful, I guess, in a way, if that makes sense on the Marvel end, opposed to DC.
Well, I just thought about something, and you were asking me about favorite moments and everything, and we talking about this book right now. But there was one moment there that I also liked that I almost forgot about, where it's that moment where Cyclops is talking about his letting his powers go full blast and enjoying it, but Miss Marvel is talking about something's bothering her, and he's kind of like, you know, what's wrong with you, what's distracting you, and she's talking about the fact that right now in this time frame the Inhumans and the mutants are at war, and she's like, you know, I'm an Inhuman, you're a mutant, we're supposed to hate each other, and Cyclops is like, well, I like you, you like me, that's all that should matter.
Yeah, he's like, then we're good.
Yeah, he's like, then we're good.
Yeah, that was
and I was like,
moment.
That's awesome.
That was a good moment.
That was a great moment. I was like, that is awesome.
That's how it should be, like, throughout some of these, a lot of tie-in books. Even though this isn't a tie-in at all, but, like, you know, some of the tie-ins just be super subtle and then kind of work around it.
Yeah, acknowledge what's going on, but don't make it, you know, a point to sell the book based off of it being connected to what's going on.
Exactly.
You know, they just mention it in that one. There's like 2 panels where they mention it. You know, yeah, our people are fighting. We're not supposed to like each other. You like me, I like you. Yeah, I do like you. Well, we're good then. Don't mention it. There's no need to mention it anymore.
Mm.
And to kind of echo your Titans comment, we talked about the Teen Titans book being a little bit more hopeful out of the DC books.
Yeah.
And I made the comment where I said it would come from the kids. You know, the kids are going to be the ones that are going to bring the hope, because the adults are so caught up on black and white,
legacy,
or whatever it is they perceive everything as. And in that one moment, it seems like the same thing's going on here in the Marvel universe, where it's like, you know, the adults are fighting. The adults are like, well, you're a mutant, I'm an Inhuman, and you know, I can't stand you. We can't be in the same place at the same time. But you got the kids that are like, that doesn't make a difference. Like, it doesn't matter if you're an Inhuman, I'm a mutant. It doesn't matter. Like, that's almost like the metaphor that people always use for the X-Men back in the day, where they're always talking about it's about adversity. And this is similar, because they're like, you know, that one comment is essentially saying like, yeah, it doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or that I'm a boy. It doesn't matter that you have this power. You're from here. You're from there. If we get along and we like each other as people, then what's the big fuss about?
Yeah, there shouldn't be any issues. Exactly. Yeah, I guess the whole Gwenpool thing.
I just thought that was awesome. Like, I'm really loving this series so far.
Yeah, I echo everything you say. Yeah, it's a solid issue. Even though the whole Gwenpool thing threw me off, I was like, I trust it at this point. You know, I'm still gonna read it. I'm sure it's gonna be good. 'Cause I'm not too familiar with Gwenpool.
I'm still in. I'm still in with the surprise of Gwenpool at the end, because it did come out of nowhere. Because I just kind of, I saw her comment, and then I saw the stitching, and then I saw get ready for Gwenpool, and I'm like, oh boy.
And that's why, like how I said earlier, like these issues wrap up the whole story. So if it's not good for me, you know, it's cool, because it's wrapping it up and it's moving on to the next issue, next storyline.
Yeah, and obviously we know Gwenpool's involved.
Yeah, overall fun issue though. I continue to love this book. I'm glad we started picking it up.
I am too. Like, I really am. I've suggested this book to a couple people.
Nice. Yeah, soon enough we're gonna do the Vision and do a retrospect on that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We can do that. We've talked about doing that with some other books, but I would definitely be down to do that with Vision, to put that in that category of retrospects.
Probably do like I Am Gotham would be good too. That'd be really good just because since we've read the I Am Suicide Squad arc and everything leading up to it.
Well, we people may or may not know how much we discuss what we're going to do off air, but that would definitely be something I would be interested in discussing at some point, and start maybe a series like that where we just do overarching runs like that. Where it's a specific series with a specific set issues, and this is the story. Because the reason, if some people may wonder why we never did Civil War 2, and we waited on Civil War 2 because that was the overarching story that kept getting pushed back. But now that it's over, I wouldn't mind revisiting that. We've talked about doing Batman, the Dark Knight Returns. Yeah. Like I'm down to do something like that.
Oh yeah, it's in the pipeline. We'll get them cranked out soon enough.
Yeah, it's in the pipeline, people.
Oh, yeah. Well then, that brings us to Scarlet Witch, number 14, written by James Robinson, art by Sean Crystal, and color artist is Chris Brunner. So Wanda, Natalia, and Agatha continue their journey down Witch's Road, coming across the goddess of all witches bound by evil being named Chaos. Wanda, along with her mother and Agatha, attempt to free the goddess, but they aren't strong enough. And Talia calls on Quicksilver to enter the dimension to free the goddess. And Quicksilver quickly catches on that Natalia is his mother, but it's not really touched on after that. And the goddess remains sick after being freed, leaving Natalia to provide her soul in order to keep the goddess alive. But before the two disband, Natalia tells Wanda that it was her father who in fact killed her. And now leaving the question of who her real father is, and more than likely taking us into the next arc, I think. But the next arc looked like it was called Avengers Assemble, so I'm not really sure. Did this seem to end abruptly for you?
Yes, it did. If you felt that way, you are definitely not alone.
Okay, like I did a couple read-throughs. And yeah, it just felt like it wrapped up. I don't want to say quickly because they're obviously we just talked about Champions that you can wrap it up in an issue, but it just I don't know, for some reason the way it was played out just didn't fit for me for some reason. It just felt like it ended like abruptly for no good cause, or the outcome wasn't really worth it to be wrapped up so quickly like that. It was a strange.
Yeah,
one
the wrap up and the goal of this book was kind of weird, and I guess since they're dealing with magic, it should be kind of weird.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I mean, you kind of expect the wrap up to maybe explain a little better what the consequences of what just happened are.
Yeah, because like, is this the end of Witch's Road already? Like they didn't touch on if this was the end or if they were still moving forward with Witch's Road, because the issue ends with her on a rooftop.
Yeah.
So doesn't seem like she's on Witch's Road anymore, and the issue was resolved. But I didn't seem to get an answer to her point of being on Witch's Road, because magic in the Marvel Universe is still, obsolete. And not usable right now, so it was just strange for me.
And the thing was, I was thinking that her journey was to bring magic back.
That either back or at least get an answer as far as how to change it all, like over a bigger Marvel Universe like spectrum.
And at first they made it seem like it because they were trying to save the goddess. They were talking about if the goddess dies, then magic is done for. And while it appears that they did save the goddess, it still doesn't say like, okay, well, magic is back.
Yeah, like I guess the cliffhanger it made it seem like this was all over and nothing is moving forward. Yeah, nothing's moving forward with this whole arc. And now we're going to go on. And now she's probably going to try to figure out who killed her father. maybe this is all still part of Witch's Road. But with the next issue being called Avengers Assembled, that threw me off as well. Is she avenging?
Well,
maybe she's assembling the Avengers to get this magic back. Maybe that's the possibility.
I do know that that last little teaser at the end upsets me, because I was upset when they decided that they were essentially going to be Inhumans instead of mutants, and upset the idea that Magneto was not their father. So I'm not excited about this whole who was my father deal
again.
In that.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that a couple episodes ago, maybe our last episode.
Yeah, and that was one of the things I absolutely loved about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, was, you know, finding out that Magneto was their father, and that whole dynamic of, you know, our father is essentially a villain, and we were villains, and now we're trying to make up for the fact that we were villains, and then becoming Avengers essentially, and becoming, you know, these great heroes. And I don't know. That, to me, that kind of ruins some of the, like, that ruins House of M for me. To find out that,
I would agree,
you know, those aren't even his kids, and it takes a lot from Magneto as a character for me too. But this was a little underwhelming. This issue was definitely underwhelming for me.
Yeah, some of the art kind of threw me off at first. A couple of times through it. It looked a little better. Sometimes Wanda was a little off, and Agatha, because like the last issue she had short hair, and now she has really long hair in this issue.
Well, it was definitely off. You were not saying things. The art was off a little bit in spots.
Yeah,
but I figured you would have an issue with the art because it was a dramatic change from the last issue.
I did at first, but then I chalked it up to kind of it being, you know, where the issue ended, because like actually the last 3 issues now that I've seen, it's been different artists. I wish that's one of my. I do wish they had one artist on this particular book. Mainly the last artist. I wish I could remember their long name, but I cannot at the time. I loved that art. So I kind of chalked it up as it being it, since she's on Witch's Road. It kind of makes sense for the art could be different, you know, kind of changing up for Witch's Road. But by the end of the issue, I was just underwhelmed with the whole wrap up and the story. It started, you know, great, I thought. So I thought it was going to be something a little bit bigger than it was.
Yeah, overall, I was not thrilled with this issue.
No, I'm still going to read the next one just because I am a Scarlet Witch fan to see where this goes. But yeah, this, maybe we'll get some answers in that. I don't know, just how this ended, and her freaking out at the end for no reason, and then getting happy. Well, I understand why she freaked out, but she snapped for like literally a second, and then she's like smiling. And that panel, that picture of her, that whole panels, those 3 panels of her are really off looking. Yeah, it was a letdown for me, unfortunately. I thought the art on the Goddess was pretty cool though.
Oh yeah, that was probably the highlight of the book as far as the art was, that section, like you said, with the Goddess design.
Yeah, and that, like, the half of the page with the dragon's mouth. I guess you can call it a dragon.
I will say it was fun. It was nice to see Quicksilver.
Yeah, that was cool. I did enjoy I like the interaction that he had with his mother, but then it kind of gets washed away because she devotes herself to saving the Goddess. So maybe we're gonna get more answers. If this is the end of this arc, hopefully it's not like a Wolf Cop situation where they just drop it and never touch on it again. But I wouldn't go as low as a Wolf Cop issue. This isn't a Wolf Cop 3.
It keeps coming back up with us, doesn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, overall, yeah, a little disappointed. I guess I'm interested to see who her father is. What if her father's Magneto? Wouldn't that be crazy?
Oh, what if they pull a 180 and just turn back around like, yeah, it actually was Magneto.
Yeah, just fix it. Yeah, one of my notes.
And they So they lied to her so that she wouldn't have another snap and alter reality.
Oh, Marvel. One of my notes says Voltron Hex forming. I think it was when there was one part. Oh yeah, they like combined together for the most part, all their magic. Like,
yeah,
the Voltron forming moment.
When our powers combine, 5 mini lions join together to make one giant super lion.
One giant lion witch.
Yep.
But cool. Yeah, that's all I have for that book. If you have anything else.
No, I don't have anything else.
All right.
All right, well, that brings us to our next book of the evening, which is Old Man Logan number 16, which features Jeff Lemire as the writer and Andrea Sortino as the artist, and color artist is Marcelo Malio. Yeah. I got it. I think I got it. Malio.
Okay, cool.
I hope I got your last name correctly. I'm so sorry.
If we didn't, sorry.
But we pick up with this issue of Old Man Logan with him kind of reminiscent of where he actually came from, the version of the future where the villains have essentially won. And as he wakes up, he actually realizes that he seems to be back in that reality, which doesn't really make any sense to him. With that being said, he also remembers that before he left, he had left the Hawk baby with a friend of his. And he's trying to remember what happened before he woke up here. So he remembers getting a distress call from Puck of Alpha Flight to come up to a space station because there was an incident up there. And he remembers getting there, and he remembers running into the Brood. And then we get a flash of him actually picking up where he left the Hawk baby. And it turns out that his friend says that Kang actually came and stole the baby. And so Logan decides he needs to go out. Sorry, what was that?
I said not just his friend. That's Luke Cage's daughter.
Danny. I'm sorry. Are you talking about Danny?
Yeah, Danny.
Well, I mean, okay, you are correct there. But she informs him that it was Kang. I'm guessing Kang probably came with a gang. Kang with a gang. That's kind of funny. It took the Hawk baby, and then he also remembers that he was attacked by Sasquatch on the space station, and that's when he ran into Puck, who was hiding out in an air vent. And as we continue the jump between the two realities, he makes the comment that it was up to him to take care of that baby because it was in his safe keep. So he has to be the one that goes and rescues, and he can't run anymore from it. Then we actually end the issue of Puck being sucked out of a airlock into space.
Logan, you mean?
Was that Logan that got sucked out? I thought Puck got sucked out too. Oh no, you are correct. My fault. It was Logan.
Yeah, I had to do a double take.
Yeah, you had to do a double take on that one. This issue was interesting and it was weird with the jumping back and forth, which left a little bit of confusion for me the first go around, and that was mainly because the reason it left confusion for me the most was the fact that we were jumping between Logan in the regular universe, which is what we're used to seeing him in now, and then back to the Badlands. And so it really left me a little confused. We kind of talked a little bit off air about this, and you said you read it a couple times. I read this issue a couple times to try to maybe piece together some things that I was missing the first go around. But what did you think overall?
Yeah, what you said as well. Definitely, it was a couple read-throughs for me. The second time I read it, I kind of like you said off air, like slowed down and focused on each reality that he was in, and then for me, I had to kind of piece together what was real and what wasn't real at first. But the second time through, if I'm even still correct, I think what you said was that we see him in one of the realities is what the one we're used to. So the whole Danny line is going on there, and then we have the old reality of when he was up in Alpha Flight, or is it the other way around that the Alpha Flight is real? Because in the end, it kind of left it as a mystery. For me at least, like not knowing which of these realities is going to be the real one just yet, or if this is all just a big dream that he's having.
And you said you think they let go of it at the end. Are you talking about when he got sucked into space?
Yeah, when he got sucked into space.
So then you think that's telling us that the Alpha Flight is real, and he's probably floating around in space, essentially dreaming of the old world?
Yes, if that makes sense.
I think I would agree. I think it's either that or he got picked up and it's something that the Brood is doing to him.
Yeah, this is quite a different issue.
One of those two things. I don't think. What were you going to say?
I was going to say this is quite the interesting issue.
Oh yeah, it definitely was. I like I said, I think that you may be onto something with him possibly be in space dreaming or hallucinating. That would probably be my first theory, and then the second one, like I said, would be that he did get sucked out into space, but somehow the Brood got to him, and being essentially a parasitic race, that somehow they have him in some kind of
like chamber or something.
He's having some kind of hallucination.
Maybe they have him hooked up to something.
Yeah.
I wish I had read the first Old Man, because I think I heard like some of the earlier stuff from Old Man Logan. Like it's just like the newest series that's out right now. It's been jumping into different realities and stuff like that. It started out like back in the Wasteland, and then it's kind of been kind of weird like this. But when we jumped on, it was pretty a straightforward story. So it was interesting to get a very odd, because I haven't read Old Man Logan. I read the original Old Man Mark Millar series, which it was nice to see some of the stuff from that I had picked up on, like the symbiote T-Rex was in there.
Yeah, the Venom T-Rex.
Yeah, the Venom T-Rex. That was cool to see. And then one of my notes is like, it's just a kind of an open-ended issue right now. And I think at first I was kind of thrown back, but the second time I read it, I saw it as like an open-ended issue to not knowing, again, a mystery. Hate to keep saying that word, but a mystery to this story of what's really going on with him and his mind right now. Very cerebral and
I definitely they have me curious to find out what's going on. Like, I definitely am curious as to whether or not he's hallucinating, or if somehow he did end up jumping back to his reality that he was from, or I don't know. They definitely set it up in an interesting way.
Yeah, because at the last 2 pages, it kind of flashes back. There shows a panel of him flashing back, and he's saying, "Cold. Why am I so cold?" And then so cold throughout it. And then when he's finally in space, he's like, "So cold. I remember." So that's what made me think that this all might be a vision of some sort. Who knows? It has me. It has me really intrigued to read the next issue.
Maybe it's a flashback of something that happened before he ended up coming here.
That could be the case as well. I'm hoping,
and that's why he remembers it.
Because I do want to see him get the baby back as well. the Hulk baby. So I wonder how long this arc will be. Hopefully it's not like 2 issues. If anything, like 3 or 4 I think would be good. They could easily get 3 or 4 issues out of this, from at least from what I've seen so far. This first issue of this arc, you could really play on this and take it somewhere, I think. But it was cool to excuse me. It was cool to see the Brood. I haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah, that's what they have been doing, isn't it? Marvel's been, especially with the X-Men books, they've been bringing out some of those old villains and old characters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Then we almost forgot to mention the Reed Richards shuttle, or the cruiser.
Yeah, this was the book with the Fantastic Four Easter egg, if you will.
Yeah. Anyway, it almost, I can't tell if it's like this could be just me looking into it too hard, but it says this place used to be one of Reed Richards' abandoned pet projects. Now it's just a hunk of junk floating in orbit. I was like, oh man, I hope it isn't kind of saying that Reed Richards is out in space just being a hunk of junk. Bring him back.
Yeah, bring him back.
Bring him back.
We want Reed.
But I thought that was cool, though. At least the mention in it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, they definitely got me interested to see how it's going to play out. I'm definitely curious as to what's going on for Old Man Logan.
Yeah, I think if it is like a 2 or 3 issue arc, I think we'll get, if it's a 3 issue arc, I think we'll get a little bit more answers, more of a soul story next issue, and then it'll wrap things up, hopefully. Well, it'll wrap things up probably, but not in a Scarlet Witch way. Hopefully. But overall, yeah, it was a mind-opening issue that definitely took a few reads to really pick up on the little tidbits that we were given. Cool. You got anything else for that one?
Nope. That's all I got for Old Man Logan.
All right. Well, we'll move on to our last book, and that is Deadpool the Duck, #1. This is one of the books that we had kind of talked about in the news during previous episodes, and we were like, yeah, we'll see how this one goes. You know, I didn't go in this expecting a wonderful comic. Kind of talked about it earlier in the show. We're not like huge Deadpool comic fans, but I did enjoy the movie. We both enjoyed the movie. I even said that I might have enjoyed it more than Civil War, and you didn't like that, but we can talk about that later. But yeah, this is written by Stuart Moore. Pencils are Jacopo Kamani. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Colors is Israel Silva, and letters are VC's Joe Sapino. And so Deadpool teleports and crashes into Howard's new car. The two combine stories and become one after a rabies-possessed rocket raccoon bites Deadpool's teleporting device, making it go haywire and cause the two to form together. Alright, and that's our show, everyone. Thank you very
much. Yep, that's it, people.
We will hear. You want to do the rankings now?
I mean, honestly, we could right here, because that literally, people, is the book.
That is the book. Yeah, that's not much to it. Like I said, I didn't go into it. You know, I'm a Howard the Duck fan. I was kind of bummed. One, that they ended up I'm not sure if they canceled it. I don't think they physically canceled it, but they wanted to do something else with Howard. And the series didn't really end too strong for me. So I was like, you know, I'll read my Howard the Duck somewhere, so I'll check out this Deadpool that they're cramming down our throats and faces, because they put Deadpool in everything. Even a new news article, you know, he's taking over the universe. That's coming up, or a big event coming up. And now he's going to be versus the Punisher, and now we have this Deadpool the Duck. I don't know why they put this out, but I'm sure I can. I'm really gonna look at the sales for this next month to see how this goes. But it just, I don't know. A lot of the jokes just weren't funny for me, and it may have just flew over my head. Maybe it's just not for me. Like, I enjoy the Harley jokes more than these Deadpool jokes that were given to us. And I'm not even a big Harley fan.
Yes, don't feel bad. Most of the jokes weren't funny. The Harley joke, like you said, was funny. Some of the interaction with the Shield agent was kind of funny with Deadpool when he thought they were apartment hunting.
Yeah, that was okay.
It was okay. And this is actually my first book with Howard the Duck. Like, I've never read Howard the Duck before. And I am a fan of Rocket Raccoon, so I was kind of surprised and excited when I saw Rocket pop up. But then to find out he had space rabies was like ridiculous. And then the fact that it was the teleporter accident merged them, because originally I was thinking this was going to be a completely separate character that maybe came from Howard's world. And to find out that no, it's just essentially a fusion of Howard the Duck and Deadpool.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
Very quick, kind of a lame setup. Like, there's nothing appealing. Yeah. There's nothing appealing about this setup to me. It was just, I don't have much on this.
That's all I have for the book. Like, literally, that is it. I mean, okay, the art was okay.
I was about to say the art was fine. I enjoyed the art,
but other than that, I really don't have anything for this book.
Like, even the Logan, even the old Wolverine thing didn't work for me.
No. The fact that, I mean, he was the voice, his spirit animal.
Yeah, spirit animals, Wolverine. I don't know if that's a continuity.
That didn't do a whole lot for me. Like, it was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cute, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if that's continuity or not, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense because he's always joking in the movies as well. Yeah,
so I mean, this would be one of the first times where
that sucks. This was your first Howard the Duck, because Chip Zdarsky did, I thought, a pretty good job at the early stages of his run.
I mean, this is probably one of the first times where we're almost at a loss of words for a book.
I had a feeling this was probably going to happen. Yeah, but I mean,
now notice I didn't say we're at a loss of words. I said almost because there's really not much to explain about this book.
But yeah, like you said, the Shield agent stuff was okay. I got a kick out of it a little bit at the beginning, but kind of just went downhill.
I mean, and really the main part that I got a kick out of that was the fact that she was like, "Yeah, I work the front desk." He's like, "Wait a minute, Shield has a front desk?"
But yeah, I'm probably not going to read the next one. Maybe I am going to read the next one to see what happens.
Yeah, I'll give 2 a chance, like you said, to see what happens and to kind of see Deadpool the Duck in action. But
so is even
I'm not super excited about it.
Yeah, not super excited. I hope they bring back another Howard the Duck book though, with someone else. But yeah, we can move on to our rankings though.
Yeah, let's jump to that.
So, what's your number 8 this week?
Well, number 8. Did we do 8 books this week?
Yeah.
Oh wow, we sure did.
That's why I wanted to add.
All right, well,
that's why I wanted to add Old Man Logan.
We're gonna start from the bottom and go to the top.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to add Old Man Logan after I read Deadpool the Duck. I texted you. I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to choose at least one more book because this Deadpool segment is gonna be like 5 minutes."
Okay, well, in that case, my number 8 is going to actually be Deadpool the Duck number 1.
Same here.
I wasn't sure what to expect going into this issue, but it definitely managed to let me down. I kind of want to see what happens next.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I
I'm not,
but not gonna go out of my way to buy it.
Yeah. So number 8 is going to be Deadpool the Duck.
Yeah, since that's my number 8, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is actually going to be Scarlet Witch number 14.
That is my number 7 as well.
Yeah, it was it was a little anticlimactic for me,
Yeah.
and I didn't. And like I said before, I didn't enjoy the whole. Oh, we gotta find out who your real father is now because it's not Magneto.
Well,
And then no answer as to whether or not Magic is actually back or not after we just spent, a couple issues with her journeying to try to resolve the Magic issue in the Marvel Universe.
or if they're even on Witch's Road anymore, or what's going on. Yeah, it was a letdown. The art was okay, but like I said, yeah, there was some nitpicks about some of the facial expressions and the way she was drawn. But yeah, since that's my number 7, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Harley Quinn number 11.
Man, you're on a roll. That is my number 6 as well.
Don't worry, we're going to start breaking that trend pretty soon. Yeah, I was looking forward to this. I've been hyping up the fact that I was excited to get into this storyline, and then they had me in the beginning, and then like I said, they lost me towards the middle of the book, and I just felt let down by the time we got to the end.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype leading up to it, like you said, and then a lot of filler. And yeah, I can't echo enough. They just hyped it up, throughout these previous issues, and just the way it was played out. This first issue was kind of a letdown, especially for you being a Harley fan. But
and a Joker fan.
Yeah, and I'm a Joker fan as well. But we have some theories about Joker, so that was fun. But yeah, since that's my number 6, what is your number 5?
My number 5, and this is probably what we're going to start breaking off, is Faith number 7.
Okay.
While I have this, like I said, this is my first Faith book, I did enjoy it. It wasn't enough in it for me to jump in and just be excited and ecstatic to keep going on. But it was a good issue, and there was a lot of things in it that I did like, and a lot of things that piqued my interest to read more about this character. Mm-hmm. And I did like specific sections of the artwork, especially when it dealt with the hallucinations.
Yeah, Margaret Savage does a great job. Nice. So now we are going to change it up a little bit. My number 5 is going to be Batman number 14.
What? Not what I expected.
Yeah. Just wasn't feeling it. Like, overall, I just had a lot of, like I said earlier, like, I've been following it since I'm Gotham. So there's a lot of, questions that, weren't answered, a lot of new questions that weren't answered, and kind of just like a filler, I feel, to get us to this Bane arc, which I hope, Tom King comes back with his A game and really kills it. So I'm a huge Tom King fan. So I'm hopeful that he can hopefully turn this around. But yeah, I'm just kind of waiting to get past this rooftop arc. It's cool. It's a cool, like, to see a Bat and Cat story. But with everything going on since Rebirth with Batman right now, some things just don't feel as important as others. But yeah, that was my number 5. What's your number 4 then?
My number 4 is actually going to be Justice League versus Suicide Squad number 3.
That is my number 4 as well.
Yeah, well, I did enjoy this book. It had some fun moments in it. It had some funny moments in it. Seeing the everyone find it funny that they got to protect Amanda Waller, and having the Batman shutdown. But yeah, overall, this definitely has me interested to keep going with this series and see what happens in 4. I'm really hoping that 4 is the takeoff issue with like, I want 4 to be an action issue.
Yeah. More Maxwell Lord and his Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the OGs.
The OGs. Exactly. Yeah, I can't echo enough. Pretty much what you said. It's still an interesting read, and it has me wanting to read into the next issue. The Killer Frost stuff is pretty good. I'm really digging that.
Yeah.
And some of the interactions are pretty solid throughout the book as well. And they just need to do something with Katana. But hopefully,
yeah, let her do
something. Yeah, she had a few lines in the book. She kind of gave Rick Flag shit at the beginning. But yeah, I want to see more of her. But overall, it's still a fun issue, and I do want to see where this goes, and I hope they do ramp it up these last 3 issues. And we'll see if it plays a bigger part in the moving forward in this Rebirth universe as well. Because I'm really intrigued about the Johnny Sorrow and Emerald and Empress stuff, because they do have somewhat of a connection to what's going on. They know about this change in the Rebirth universe, so yeah, it has me intrigued, and yeah, so I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. So what is your number 3 then?
My number 3 is actually going to be Old Man Logan number 16. Overall, I like the book. Like I said, it was a little weird going through it the first time because of how we've become accustomed to seeing Old Man Logan now, and it kind of have him waking up in the Badlands was kind of jarring a little bit. But I'm definitely want to see whether or not he's remembering a past memory, or if he's just hallucinating something based off of his memories of being in the Badlands, or if it indeed is him somehow traveling back there after falling out the ship.
Yeah, I should have said that's my number 3 as well. It's still, I like the sci-fi mystery vibe of it. Like, actually, the second time I read through it, I actually pictured it as like a sci-fi movie that I would watch with the weird flashbacks and whatnot, different realities and stuff. So yeah, overall it was an enjoyable issue, and it made me want to definitely pick up the next 2 or 3 issues to finish his arc. Because I'm a fan of Jeff Lemire from what I've read of his stuff so far, and it's been pretty solid. So I know we've talked about one or 2 of his books on this show. Wish I could remember the titles, but I think we've done at least 1 or 2. But he's a good writer. But yeah, so what is your number 2 then?
Oh, I think I'm about to blow your mind with this one. My number 2 this week is actually, and this is really hard for me to pick between my 1 and 2, but my number 2 this week is going to actually be Champions number 4. So, solid book, solid story, solid dynamic. Love the way the team is forming together. Love the interaction between the team. Nothing actually feels wasted here. And I'm really interested, even though it was a shock to see her at the end, to see how Gwenpool is actually going to tie into all of this.
Okay, word. Sweet. Well, I was going to switch it up, but I think I'm going to keep it the same. As my number 2 as well is going to be Champions number 4. It's still a fun issue, and there's nothing that really let me down. I don't think we really had any nitpicks about the issue, so that's a good sign. But yeah, that's my number 2. I echo everything you're saying as well. So that makes your number 1 Batman.
Batman number 14.
Okay. To each their own.
Well, you ranked it so low, but I had to rank this high this week because just like with the annual issue, there's certain things I wanted to see Batman do, or certain opportunities I wanted to see Batman have, and one of those things is to actually experience love. Like, we never really get to see Batman with anybody or have that kind of interaction where you can tell, like, yeah, he's dedicated to being Batman, but he does still have a human heart, and he can fall for somebody.
Yeah, and I definitely don't disagree with you there.
Say that again?
I said I definitely don't disagree with you there.
Yeah, and I actually like the idea of Catwoman just saying, like, I know I'm going to jail, but just give me one night with you. And then, of course, that whole entire night almost being filled with villains popping up and her asking, like, is this what you do every night? And he's like, yeah, pretty much so. You know, and then they get their moment at the end, and we also get to see a softer, dare I say, good guy side of Catwoman.
Yeah.
I mean, she essentially helps him solve a case he's been working on for 4 years. And then she essentially gives away all of her riches that she's been saving up. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how
That's my number one. I guess No, what were you gonna say?
I said, yeah. I mean, we'll see how the arc ends and all that. But yeah, just a little letdown for me. I mean, if you can tell,
that's fine.
I'm like sad saying that I was at my number five. Like, I never want Batman to be at my number 5. I always wanted to be at number 1 or 2.
So that means I know what your number 1 is.
That is Faith number 7.
Oh.
I've been following the book since her ongoing series, and I think issue number 7 is really starting to pick up the story arc of this character. And the past couple arcs have been pretty good, but I think this one's really stepping off and kind of connecting the Valiant universe with their Harbinger series that's going to pop off, like the big event that they're leading up to. So yeah, and it's just a fun book, different take on a superhero, which I'm always into, and it's a very joyful and hopeful character. So, opposed to the DC, the darker stuff. And there was like a political thing that they had pushed in the issue 5 or issue 4, I think. I picked up the issue, but I didn't read any of the political stuff because it was like super hardcore. Like Hillary Clinton was in it, and I was like, wow. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that might have been pushed on the book. I'm not sure if that was like Jody or whoever's idea, but that might have been pushed onto the book, and I didn't read it. But other than that, that was like a major thing I didn't like. But other than that, this book has been really good, and yeah, it's a nice take on a superhero, so I'm all in for it. And there's a lot of mystery to this, and I guess if you've been following, or if you have followed the Valiant series and the universe and the Faith series, you might have like a lot of theories of what's going on in this world. So yeah, it's a good comic. That is my number 1 this week. What do you know? It first time we talk about it, and that makes my number 1.
Yeah.
Sweet. Did you get any?
Do you have any honorable mentions this week?
Yeah, I have a few. Actually, kind of a few. I read Shade the Changing Girl, number 4, from DC Young Animal, and that continues to be a pretty fun book. And I definitely recommend it if you're into weird psychedelic stuff with a really weird dark story as well to it, and a lot of mystery, and things haven't been revealed yet, but they're slowly ramping up to the big showdown, I think, of things. So yeah, it's a fun book. I'm still ranking it at my number 3 for my Young Animal books right now. And then I also I read Hawkeye number 2. Did you read that by chance?
Just go ahead and finish your honorable rankings.
So I read Hawkeye 2. I made time to definitely. I was like, I have to read that because we talked about at least giving it another chance. I read it. I still hasn't hooked me yet. It still hasn't hooked me yet. Some of the dialogue I enjoyed. The art's still fine, but it just hasn't hooked me yet. There's, yeah. But and then I finally picked up Judge Dredd, issues 11 through 12, ending the Mega City 1 arc. I tried reading issue 11, but then I was like, I thought I remembered everything that happened previously, but it's a weird take on Judge Dredd that I'm not familiar with, so I definitely need to go back and read issues like 7 through 10 before I get 11 and 12, and I still have Love is Love, but I haven't read yet, because that's a beast of a book that I haven't found time for. And I still need to read AD After Death from Jeff Lemire and Scott Snyder. But yeah, that's what I was able to get in this week.
Alright. Well, I have 2 honorable mentions this week. And the first one is actually Hawkeye #2. Yes, I did the same thing you did, and I saw it in the store, and I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and suck it up and see what happens, and I'm going to echo what you said about this issue. It didn't really draw me all the way in. It did have a little twist off of what we thought was going to happen.
I still don't know if that's the case. I mean, it seems that way. Because he was kind of...
it seems that it seemed like we were partially right.
Yeah. So he was like not hitting on it, but wanted to ask her out.
Yeah. So it still didn't do anything to draw me in. Like, as of right now, this wouldn't be a series I'm going to follow.
Same. I'm going to give it one more issue, and then then I'll go from there. But it seems to be a book that after the 3rd issue, I probably won't be picking up again. And just have to wait until I hear good things.
Go ahead. Yeah. Well, my second issue is actually going to be U.S. Avengers #1.
Oh, you get the Ohio variant?
Yes, I got the Ohio variant with Black Knight on the cover. And first of all, I was wondering why we get Black Knight, but we were all at the comic store wondering why we got Black Knight.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's actually a really good issue.
Who's on that team?
This is really good, and I'm really.
Who's on that team?
The team in here. Robert DaCosta. They have a version of the Red Hawk. They have a character called Tony Ho. I'm not sure what her. Oh yeah, she's the Iron Patriot.
Okay.
And then they also had a character called Enigma, who's actually a pretty interesting character because she's like almost like an Iron Man meets Kitty Pryde. She like has a suit that lets her phase through stuff.
Okay.
Speedball was on there. No, not Speedball. Cannonball was on there, and Squirrel Girl.
Okay, yeah, I remember seeing. I think Squirrel Girl and Red Hulk were the only ones that I had recognized when I looked at the cover.
Yeah, the original cover. And then they introduced a new Captain America in the end of the book.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Damn. And I'm guessing the villain is also a variation on another villain. And
I'll have to get a chance, and I'll have to read that.
Yeah, pick it up. I would suggest picking it up. It's pretty fun, and the way they set up each character I like the way they set up each character.
Yeah, I was trying to think I don't think of anything else I read. I started to read Superman #10, but I was like super tired and I fell asleep. But it started the Multiplicity arc. It seemed interesting, but I just fell asleep. So I'll have to read that soon. Sweet. Cool. Well, I think that's going to do it then for episode 15.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Cool, everyone. Well, thank you for sticking around and listening to this. We're definitely going to be back with episode 16. We're going to keep moving. We appreciate you listening and downloading this. Tell your friends. Spread the word. Got some cool things in the works. So yeah, we're looking forward to this, and we appreciate you taking the time as well to appreciate this with us. And we'll be back next week. Next week, we'll be discussing Justice League, Power Rangers #1, Titans #7, Suicide Squad #9, All New Wolverine number 16, Inhumans vs. X-Men number 2, Justice League vs. Suicide Squad number 4, Tank Girl number 4, Spider-Man number 12, and Ninjak number 23.